of them don't even know what leadership is in marriage. You want to lead a woman. You want to lead an educated woman. And maybe you are not educated. How does that work? They may call you simp, my brother. Don't stop. I say it. Some men are a waste of space. They are not qualified to be in marriage. Yes, complete utter waste of space, my brother. Don't stop calling. Some women are useless, some men are useless. But I hate that narrative where they make it look like women are the problems why marriages are failing. I don't believe that to do.
I don't believe it either.
I don't believe. I watched one of your videos this morning and I really enjoyed.
Let me start a show with you like this today, Eric. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Oh, my God. The timing. I guess we're on Social Saturday today. How are you guys doing? Hey, everyone. Welcome. Nobody hear you. So let me just, hold on. Let me try to, I was trying to play this video to give people the attention before. So Eric, let me play this video, okay? So I can get people attention to come on, and then we can talk about it. Or just hold on. Pull this in the back. Let me pull this in the back a little bit and do it, because I'm trying to get people.
To lend a voice to what you have just said about our men. People may call you all those words, simp and all that. Please do not stop talking. You know why? Our men say they are leaders, but they don't show leadership in marriage. They don't even, some of them don't even know what leadership is in marriage. You want to lead a woman. You want to lead an educated woman. And maybe you are not educated. How does that work? They may call you simp, my brother. Don't stop. I say it. Some men are a waste of space. They are not qualified to be in marriage. Yes, complete utter waste of space, my brother. Don't stop calling. Some women are useless, some men are useless. But I hate that narrative where they make it look like women are the problems why marriages are failing. I don't believe that to do.
I don't believe it either.
I don't believe. I watched one of your videos this morning and I really enjoyed it when you were calling out the men. If you are the leader of a home, Odogo, right?
Yeah.
When you pour water, does water go from head down or it goes from up down, from down up? Where the water they flow from?
Down.
Okay. You are the head. It goes from head to bottom. If you are the head of the home, any behavior you want your wife to show to you, model that behavior. If you don't model the behavior, you are not a leader. You're not a good leader. If you want truth and honesty in marriage, as the leader of the home, model that for your wife to copy. Model that for your children to copy. If you want compassion and respect from your wife, model compassion and respect first to your wife. Your wife will learn of you and they will pass it on to the children. If you want any virtue you want from your woman, model it first. But our men are not ready to model these behaviors, these virtues, but they want the women to give it to them. How does that work?
Doesn't make sense.
How does it work? You If you talk to, unfortunately, you know, like you talked in one of our videos, some of these narratives we've had of old, they are destroying men. They are destroying men, seriously, my brother. Marriages are failing because some men are not able to hold it down. Some men are intimidated when they see a woman. And I'll give you an instance. You're married to a woman, you live in the diaspora, wherever. All of a sudden, your woman is now building new capacities. You know, educating herself, enrolling for courses and all that. She gets a top job. She starts earning more than you. Some men already become so incensed. All right? In his mind, he started thinking as a typical Nigerian man. This woman may not respect me anymore because now she's earning more than me. He's already having that mindset, that threat. And before you know it, those words that the woman used to say before that didn't mean anything to him, he will now begin to consider them as disrespect.
True.
He will now begin to frustrate this woman. She will want to, you know, stifle this woman just to bend, you know, like forcefully bend her. And he will break the marriage, the good marriage they had. I say to our men, all right, you cannot marry a woman. A woman is developing herself. You don't want to develop yourself. Why? Why? How does that work? Build new capacities as your wife is building new capacities. My brother, do not stop. Keep telling them, because a man, when you talk to this, our Nigerian people, I am the provider, I am the protector. Unfortunately, women are not providers.
100%.
So some men are looking out of place. They don't know where they stand anymore in marriage because the women have become providers. So what are you providing then? People are not ready to call this thing out the way it is. Young people come, they've told them this thing, our fathers are providers. Okay, yes. Our fathers were providers in those days when the women didn't have options. Odogu, when I was born in the 60s, all right? When I was growing up, Odogu, emphasis was on good character,
100%.
good name. If I'm going somewhere, my father will say to me, be careful, don't spoil my name. I carry that with me wherever I go. My father was a teacher. Odogu, what's going on now? No good character. Nobody talks about character. What are they talking about? Money. Money, money, money. Some parents are respecting their sons because the sons are the ones keeping the family going. Even when the son, they know the son is doing something bad, they support their son because the son is built a new house for them. All right? And this their son is going to marry a woman. So when the guy marries a woman and he doesn't even know how to treat a woman. Although when I was growing up, all the women, like you said in your video, hey, go and meet your mom in the kitchen. So that tomorrow now, you know, it was like every time, like women are being prepared for marriage. Go and meet your mom and learn how to cook. Tomorrow you get married and you disgrace me. What do they tell the boys? Nothing. Do they tell the boys, go and meet your father so that you learn how to treat a woman good in marriage? They don't do it. Everything has been on women, women, women. Women have to fight for everything in their life. And when I speak, they say I'm a supporter of women. I'm not a supporter of women. I'm a supporter of good marriage. That's what I'm saying. Yes. In those days, when I was growing up, in my father's days, all right, when education started, Western education, even if the man had 2 girls first, they will not send the 2 girls to school. They will send the boy. Why? They're saying this girl will soon marry, so let her go to her husband's house. So the men, our fathers were not investing in our women. They were investing in the boy child because this is the one that will carry my name forward. When my daughter marries, my daughter will stop answering Miss Preacher Man. Will start answering Mrs. Odogu. My name is gone. So let me prepare my son. All right? Let me prepare my son for life ahead. So it's been like that. So the first two girls, they won't send them to school. My father told me this. They will send the boy to school. Is that not discrimination?
100%.
How do you think the first two girls will feel? The father will, and when they say, Dad, I want to go to school, come on, go and help your mother. Tomorrow you're going to get married. You're looking for a man so that you can ship your daughters away in marriage. Women were not competing with men in those days because they didn't have options. All right? But now that everybody has access to Western education, women are competing with men in the class. Women take first. Men are struggling to handle that. Women go to job interviews with men. They get the top jobs. The men cannot handle, they can't process it. So there's a shift in the psyche in the society. Our men can't handle it. And when you speak like this, they call you a simp. Some will tell you, even if it's educated, yes, a woman who knows marriage, if you are a PhD holder, when you come into marriage, when you are coming to that, you drop your PhD hat outside. It's marriage. PhD does not come into marriage. Marriage is between you and your husband. You have to, if you marry a man or say yes to a man you cannot respect, a man you cannot honor, you don't deserve to be in marriage as a woman.
100%.
You don't deserve to be in marriage. Say yes to a man you can look up to. Say yes to a man that you can honor. You can look up to him to say, this is my husband. You honor him. You give him respect. Odogu, you are a man, I'm a man. What matters to us is respect.
100%.
Most. Give me food. Give me respect. I will choose respect first.
100%.
Give the food. I don't need the food. Give me respect as a man.
I can cook.
I can cook. Give me respect. Odogu, I'm a good cook. My wife, I do things. When I spoke to you yesterday, I was on my way. I was driving to Budapest yesterday. I'm in Hungary on vacation. I do it for my wife, to bless my wife for what she does for me. It is to make sure she is, when she does all the things she does for me, I bless her because I want those behaviors to keep repeating. When your husband does something for you as a woman, show appreciation and gratitude. Nam, thank you. This thing you did is so wonderful. Why are you doing it? You are doing it so that the man will do more for you. When you reward a positive behavior, the positive behavior will reoccur. That's simple psychology in learning theories. All right? Please, my brother, keep saying the right things you are saying. I don't care who calls you a sin, woman rapper, a woman liberator. No. We know that women have been fighting for so many years of their lives. Look at in the East, like you said, a woman cannot inherit his father's property. Some states have not still approved it. Who does that? It's your father, but because you're just a woman, you can't get your father's property. They give it to the men. And you expect the same women to be happy? It doesn't work that way. Times.
Hello. We are back. Welcome back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nightly Exchange. I guess it's social night tonight, guys. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about stuff like this. Eric, people get kind of intimidated talking about. But first of all, please, share the show for you who are already here. Please share it to your family and friends. Go on WhatsApp. Why do I always say WhatsApp? These people. Go on YouTube and Facebook on Liberia Watch News and share it. Comment and subscribe, please, and come back here I know a lot of you like politics and something, but something we have to talk about these things, right? We can't always be talking about politics. We have to talk about some of these social issues, and sometimes we come out and talk about,
Yeah.
Liberia, and this is about Africa, even though the people speaking the video are Nigerian, but this is something that affects all of us, right? All over Africa. So that's why we were playing that video. So just do share, comment, and something to come back and let's talk. And engage with us in the comment section. Please give us your thoughts as we also um, discuss up here. And we hope the other guys will join us on Saturday, usually party night. But we'll see. Welcome, Eric. How are you? Tell us what's on your mind. Is that even the hours that we're spending here? So let's do that. And if it's just us two.
It's good. Physically, I'm not too okay, but at least I'm great to be on the show, and
Thank you for
the
coming. Yeah.
the pleasure is mine. It's a good topic tonight because what we are discussing has to do with uh, a serious issue. You
Mm-hmm.
know, in grade school, the teach you that the first unit of society is the family. And so, if we have a family that is apart, that draws to the issue of people being hopeless, people being economically disadvantaged. And when
Mm-hmm.
people are economically disadvantaged, it leads to crimes, it leads to a lot of unforeseen situation in the country, including drugs and other issues. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a very educative point to begin the show with tonight about holding the family together. Uh, I listened to the speaker who was highlighting about male, female,
Mm-hmm.
and why it's true that I partially agree with some of what he said.
Partially.
I
No.
partially, I partially because
Welcome, Alfred.
yeah, in my mind, he was not speaking with data to prove his claims. For example, um, there's the group called the American Sociological Association, according to ASA. They did a research over the years, and according to them, two-thirds of all quote unquote educator or college, whether college dropout or college educator
Mm-hmm.
marriages were initiated, the divorce of those marriages were initiated by female. So that shows that more women, the educated women, are more likely to file in for divorce than men. So when it comes to breaking the family apart from the educational perspective, women are in the lead if we were to believe or accept what the
In our
American
culture,
pattern.
in our culture,
No, I'm quoting the American
well,
sociological
we're talking about our culture, the
association.
African
Yeah,
culture.
but these research are done giving a different perspective about people who are exposed to education. Even in Liberia, we are exposed to Western education, right? If you were to go to our culture to say, okay, let's say people who didn't go to school. So why is it that our forefathers maintained their marriages? There were not divorces, a separation like we're experiencing. The reason we're experiencing divorces, separation is because of education. When people are educated, they begin to question or to ask about their rights. What is my right in the relationship? What am I supposed to gain? What am I supposed to tolerate? But if you remove education, our forefathers were more successful in marriages, than what we are. And even with that, they had 2, 3 wives that they
So
were
what do you
keeping.
call a success in marriage, Eric? Is it a success for the men or success for the women or success for both?
I didn't get the question.
What do you call success in marriage? Is this you mean successful for the both party or just successful for the man?
No, what I call successful marriage is marriage that will continue, marriage that will not go to the court for divorce. There will be challenges, of course, there will be hurdles, but the fact that the both of you can work it out, that it will not reach to the law for separation, it means that you both, have agreed to accept the sanctity of marriage that calls for better, for worse, sickness and in health, or brokenness or not. You people can mend up the hurdles and live together in peace and harmony. That's what I call. And these are things that our forefather, enjoy during their days. There
What
are
about
other
you?
fight.
What about the women doing those day in those marriages?
What happened with them?
Were they enjoying those marriages as well, or in that case, from the way you're speaking, was education bad? Is education bad for someone to know their rights and know what is good for them and know what is not good for them because they were in a marriage because a marriage lasted longer during those days, and people even die in those something women, right, stress and stuff because they know nothing better to do, right, but to stay there and endure or whatever, regardless, because it lasted longer. Was that a good thing, even though some of them were not happy in it, they were not being treated right in it? Is that, I'm trying to understand here, like, education bad for marriages? Is it good for marriage? I'm just trying
So
to get you.
so this is what I would say, right? And I'm gonna use myself, at the disprover of even my family to say that I'm a product, I'm alive today because uh what my forefathers did or my grandfather did. Let me not stress it further.
Mhm.
Okay, my grandfather had a wife who, could not put to bed, but then she decided with the both of them that there should be someone else's to step in. And
Yes.
yes, but uh, currently this is almost impossible. I'm not saying education is bad, but I'm only giving you the reason that I'm alive to even be on your show. Had my, grandmother who legally married to my grandfather not, agreed or consented to my father having a second wife to put, to have children, then Eric would not have been alive today to be talking on your
Well, we
show.
don't know that
No,
now.
no,
Every
no,
welcome
no,
choose different
no,
means.
no, 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 I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I, you know, I went to school, so I can outrightly say education is bad. But what I can say is that the fact that, in fact, oral history has taught us that our grandmothers were the one who were finding wives for their husband, and they live in harmony, they live in peace, they have longevity in their
Okay.
marriages than what we are experiencing today. Were there not challenges? Obviously there were challenges, but I like the way you narrow it to the African perspective.
Yeah.
The typical African man is not built to marry one wife. It's not built. No, I
I
can
get
say
you.
that. It's
Well,
not built.
hold on 1 second before we get to Alfred on this. Alfred, did you watch the video that we're playing? How you doing, by the way? Welcome back.
Your hello, my
We are
people.
sabbatical. Did you watch
Don't got
it?
open, don't got open. Oh, yeah, my friend. Making to all,
I
Okay.
agree.
making to all. Yeah. So don't talk about sabbatical here. Let me just do what I gotta do, and then that carry the show on. Don't bring that your old story yet. Making to all, but yes, I watched the video and I listened to some of the argument the young man was putting out there.
Go ahead on it. Let me hear you on it, Alfred. Sorry.
Well, I will agree with my brother Eric. You know, I come from like let's say from the typical Liberian family. I come from a patriarchal family. where the man is like he's the king in the kingdom, and everything is surrounded around the king. All right. So, like what my brother was saying, brother Eric, our typical African society was people would think that women were disrespected, women were marginalized, but the society at the time, the key or the central part of every family at the time were the women. You had all the women with the children.
So do
No,
justice.
I'm coming. I'm coming. The point I'm trying to say here is that
Mhm.
my brother, my sister, today people are confused. People are confused so much when it comes to the issue of marriage. People are confused because even if you go back in biblical history,
Mhm.
you will come to find out that the man we call God best friend had two wives.
What are you talking
Abraham
about?
had two wives.
Did God tell Abraham to marry 2 wives? Don't even gonna open out. I can't hear. Let's see
I
what
come to the point.
Go ahead.
Abraham had two wives. The what my brother raised when Sarah was to the point where she felt that on her body, physically she could not bear 4 children, she encouraged her husband to say, "Look, I'm old now. Have another woman that will bring you children, so that your knee will not erase."
And what happened then?
And he did. And he
And what
had a son.
happened?
And he had a son.
And what happened
But
after?
people, my
That
dear,
was because
people
you're
are
trying to make this
confused.
seem like it is God's will. No, it wasn't. So that's why I'm asking you what happened after the
This conversation we are having here tonight.
because
We
you're
are
not
not
putting
talking
because I
about
asked
what
you to
God
you're
said,
not
what
putting
God
the
did not say.
answer.
We are
Oh,
not discussing what God said or what God did not say,
well,
or
we're
what
not
God want or what
well,
God did not want.
I'm probably wait 1 minute.
What we are saying here
Let
is
me play a portion of this
marriage.
so we can go from there. Let me play a portion of this something again from the beginning.
I watch it. You don't have to play. I've been watching it. I watch the whole thing. The point I'm making to you, my sister, is that we try to denigrate our typical African society that have lived long. In fact, those societies those days, they didn't have diseases. As a matter of fact, there were not too many diseases that we are currently faced with in those societies because the society was so disciplined. They were so disciplined.
Yeah, but hold on. Because I think
All
we are
right.
confusing the topic. Hold on 1 second. That's why I say, yo, hold on, let me play this thing. Then I will ask you the question because I think we're going from the main topic to something else. We're turning it to another.
Morning.
Good morning, my brother.
I want to lend a voice to what you have just said about our men. People may call you all those words simp and all that. Please do not stop talking. You know why? Our men say they are leaders, but they don't show leadership in marriage. Some of them don't even know what leadership is in marriage. You want to lead a woman, you want to lead an educated woman, and maybe you are not educated. How does that work? They may call you simp, my brother. Don't stop. I say it. Some men are a waste of space. They are not qualified to be in marriage. Yes, complete utter waste of space, my brother. Don't stop calling. Some women are useless. Some men are useless. But I hate that narrative where they make it look like women are the problems why marriages are failing. I don't believe that to do.
I don't believe it either.
I don't believe. I watched one of your videos this morning and I really enjoyed it when you were calling out the men. If you are the leader of a home, Odogo, right?
Yeah.
When you pour water, does water go from head down or it goes from up down, from down up? Where the water flow from?
Down.
Okay. You are the head. It goes from head to bottom. If you are the head of the home, any behavior you want your wife to show to you, model that behavior. If you don't model the behavior, You are not a leader. You're not a good leader.
Let's stop it right there. And talking about. So, Alfred,
Mhm.
this brother here, this is an African man talking here, right? And I don't think he's talking about doing those. He even said we'll continue doing piece by piece, right? So we'll hear the rest of it. He's talking about doing those days, right? He even went ahead and talked about doing those days, in the old days and stuff. I understand all of these things that you guys are saying, but today, I think what he's referring to today, right? Men out there, especially the narcissistical ones, right? They don't take responsibility, right, of their actions, especially our African men. They always put everything on the woman. Because the reasons are what you are saying from back then, right? Back then, those people that were doing nothing, but they never disrespected their wives. They never put them down. They never, like Eric said, his grandmother, his grandmother, right? Or somebody, something that his grandfather respected her. I think enough that she did that, right? Some things they were doing wasn't right. But the way things are being done now is what those men are speaking on, the video that I just played. So that's what we're going from, right? And that's what we're having a social night today, to have a perspective on that. Because
the video you just played, there's a lot to be unpacked. Just
Yeah.
a little one you play over there.
yeah, that's why I'm doing a piece by
Number
piece.
one, the brother raised the point of irresponsibility.
Mhm.
The brother raised the point of leadership.
Right.
The brother also raised the point of intimacy.
Mhm.
And if we want to unpack the three things, we're not moving here today.
Just try.
Yeah, so let's
Let's do
talk
a
about
little
leadership.
Alexa. Mhm.
Let's talk about leadership.
Mhm.
If you want to compare, everybody may not be the same. Leadership, you have to have some level of skill. So if you want to narrow it to the issue of the family, the first thing that has to happen in any family is valuing the family you come from. If you don't have a center point where you can value your family, then of course you'll be considered what the brother just talked about in the video, that people are useless, right? So that's there where that definition will come from, when people are not valuing the family name. All right. So for example, me now, I'm a Konowa, right? That name is a household name from where I come from. So everywhere I go, I want to make sure that that name is respected. So I will conform myself to making sure that the name is respected. All right, because it is a household name. It's not only me as an individual that carries that name. There are a lot of Konowas that have laid legacies for themselves and for the family. And I know that. So given that perspective, I will always want to make sure that the name remain vibrant, it remain a household name. That's leadership. Okay, so you as a man in your home, that's the first thing you need to recognize, that I have a need to protect. So my action and inaction should be scrutinized in a way that it does not affect my family name. Okay, so that's the first one. Then he also talk about intimacy. The whole intimacy thing today, I swear, my sister, the Western education we talk about all of the time. I mean, people are just confused. People are confused about intimacy. Intimacy, my sister, is a two-way street. It's a two-way street. You have to give it to expect it to come back to you.
Absolutely.
But in the process, if you are only there to receive and you can't give back, that is a problem. That is a problem. So it's a two-way street. So any man who wants to be in a relationship and just want a relationship to be centered around him, the woman must worship him, the woman must give him all the intimate categories that you can name, you can think about. Then he can give those things back. Then making sure that the woman is protected, making sure that her needs are met, making sure that she's well covered. I'm talking about the whole 9 yards. If you can't do that, of course, you can't keep a relationship. because it's a two-way street. You have to respect the woman that you have intimacy with. You have to respect her. If you can't do that, trust me, you have a problem, because she's a human being too. She needs your companionship. She not need to be stressed out. But again, today people are so selfish to the extent where they play a blind eye on their selfish actions, and they think that the next person is the problem. So if you really go down into most of these different relationships that break apart, the simple singular reason is selfishness, lack of communication. People are not communicating. They are the way they feel. And if I were to sit with anyone who is married and having problem, the first thing that you need to work on is communication. Because if you communicate well, you'll be able to say what you are imagining that is a problem in your relationship, and that person will be able to hear you out and know exactly, oh, this is what I'm doing
The-
that the person doesn't like,
so
and I need to work on it.
with that communication thing, that's another place too that I see African men struggle a lot. They see communication as being, I don't know, weak and not being the head of the home. I'm the head, like you're supposed to be submissive. I don't know what it takes the definition of those, things that when you're communicating with your wife and telling her, letting her know, informing her a decision and stuff, they feel like they're asking for permission. They don't see it as I'm being respectful to my, like in this country, and I'm not saying any nationality or any country the men are perfect. That's not what I'm saying. But they are to a certain extent how, these men behave different from each other, right?
Let me tell you my experience, my sister. When I got married,
You'll hear people here say that, when they're doing something like, ooh, my wife will kill me if she ever something that I can't even something that. And when an African man hear that, be like, aren't you the man in your home? Like, that mentality. Like when that man is saying my wife will kill me, he's not literally speaking that his wife would, like, she have control or she's the head, she's the no. Out of respect, right? But we African men tend to like kind of confuse that as I don't know what. Don't you think those are some of the reason? And then everything they put it when a woman's like you said, everybody has feeling. When she's feeling that way, and she something about it makes it like, oh, she want to be the head. Now, I'm not saying like the man said, you have useless women. Some women are useless. That one, plain blame. You have some very good women that have all the qualities, and they meet up with the opposite, right? But most of the time, that's the ones that that's what we're talking about here. So the communication thing, I really want you to say as an African man, like, do you have that? That when when you communicating with your wife and you like doing stuff and she's in the know and she's doing it, does that make you feel any less of a man to say that your wife is
let me give you my experience. That's why I brought it up. When I first got married, my wife and I, we were in her family's house, so she didn't like it. So she said, you know what, we need to find our own place. I said, well, our own place we're going to find, we're just going to be a place that we'll start a build. So we had a conversation. But then when the time reached for where this construction going to be, I decided we are having conversation to think about what her reaction would be. I said, you know what? I just went to I said, you know what, we're building a house in Corwell. That we're going to build a house. My wife rejected that decision. She rejected. She said, no, that place you want to build a house, I don't think it's good for us. I didn't listen to her.
Of course.
Guess what happened? The land we bought, it was wrong. It was to the wrong place. We're not able to get our money back. All the money we spent for the land, we didn't get the land. It backfired.
Mm. What did you do?
She said, I told you I didn't want us to go that way, and you went. So she was so upset. And at that point, I had nothing to say because I made a decision when she had told me we shouldn't go there. So that was a communication problem.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't listen to what she was trying to to say. The second one happened also. I decided to buy a car, but she didn't want to change her car. She loved her car, she wanted it that way. So I felt like I was trying to impress her. So I went out, sold the car and bought a different car. When I bought the car, when she just looked at me. She just went inside. Because I talk about it, she said, I don't want to change my car. Guess what happened again? That decision was a bad decision and it backfired. The car I brought was not good.
Mm.
So that's what I said. If you are a married person, or even if you're having a relationship, communication is very, very important. Because she might be making a decision the way you see that decision, the next person might see it from a different perspective altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a second eye to say, oh, let me take a break and kind of process what the person is saying, you will come out better. So sometimes I agree with you. Some of our African brothers think that, having a second option is a sign of weakness. Especially so if that second option is to stop that decision.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes a sign of weakness. So I experienced it and I knew what the outcome was. So I learned from it. Right
Yes.
now in my house, when I want to make a decision, I tell my wife, when I see that she not satisfied with it, I will slow down. I will not move her hand and say I'm going to do it. I will slow down until she come back again and say, look, I think you are telling me something. I think that thing you're saying is a good thing. Let's do it. And then I'll ask her what you say about it.
That's
You know?
good. Yeah, thank you. That
So-
have Alice come in for a little bit on that part of the video. And just land on there and we're having.
All right, thank you so much, Aimee. I just listened to the video, and I have to deal with specifically how do you handle your relationship. More often, I will be honest. Right now, in our modern world, I see a lot of mistakes of young people and making mistakes when it comes to relationship handling.
Mm-hmm.
And then not forgetting about the country that we live in called America, to the point that you will see men and women sharing the same bills together, but they will still say they are the head of the home.
Absolutely.
You're sharing the bill together with a woman. When the rent is 1,500 and you guys doing it times divide by 2. When the water bill can't divide by 2. Then when a woman tries to resist at night, when it comes to sexual aspect, and you say the woman don't respect you, the woman don't do this, to the point they do a lot of things. You see, marriage is one thing I always tell people. Marriage is different, totally different than boyfriend and girlfriend. Even boyfriend and girlfriend, what make marriage to build when you are the way you would take care of your girlfriend before getting to marriage. The way you would take care of your girlfriend before getting to marriage. Then people going to know the kind of man you are. The first thing is we should always erase that perception. I'm the head of the home. The Bible talk about it. The Bible said the woman should what? Should submit.
She's your helper.
And then what happened? The man should what? Should love your wife as Christ loved the church. So if you don't love your wife as Christ
Live
loved
with
the
her with understanding.
then definitely you are going the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
I was 29 years when I got married. People thought that I was doing the wrong thing. And I told them, like, no, I'm not doing the wrong thing. Because I understand the woman I'm about to get married to. I know the woman I'm about to get married to. Sometimes in relationship, things might go tough. You may be thinking that the woman don't respect you. But know that it may not be the woman. That's why in relationship, you must always put God first in your relationship. If God is in the middle, then you will understand how to handle the relationship. Like what my big brother was talking about communication. One thing about me is that I'm fighting on honesty on this life is trust. I love my wife. I love my wife the best, but due to jealousy, she's not near me. She all the way in Liberia. I'm all
Oh
the way
my
in the
gosh.
US. Sometimes I say that and I start to think negative way. Start thinking negative way.
Oh my
Thinking negative way.
goodness.
Sometimes I say that every night you find me. To the point now, I call her and say, look, you know what? Let us pray. Over here will be 10 o'clock, in Liberia will be 3 o'clock. From the time we started praying, the negativity dropping little by little.
The devil rebuke it.
3 o'clock, the negativity dropping wherever. So one thing is when you and your partner decide to pray together,
Yeah,
God stay into the marriage.
I
God
agree.
protect the marriage. So when I see sometimes I tell people it's good to show your wife the best love. My wife is my mother. My
Oh,
wife is my best friend. I
don't
do
make
have
me
my mom.
cry.
I love my mom. I love my mom to the 40s. But you see my wife, she still as my mom.
Once you're
In the
married,
sense,
yeah.
when I'm making mistakes, she like, hey. So one thing about my wife when I'm making mistakes, I know her good. Her whole face changed. And the moment her face changed, I had the first in the whole marriage. I would confess. I always say sorry. Even when she wronged me, I tell her sorry. I'm not doing that. People will say, "Oh, you're so crazy in your marriage." No,
Don't listen to them.
no. When you're standing as a man and you feel that you get that kind of way back mentality, oh, I'm the boss in the home. Definitely, you're not going to keep a woman. You will never keep marriage because you'll always be thinking that you're the boss every time. But sometimes behave like the fool in the home. You'll get every necessary thing you need to get. Everything you need to get, you'll get it. You'll
I want pen
understand.
and paper. Everywhere I pen and paper, everywhere I pen and paper, I need to take notes.
But what the brother is saying here, it's good that I'm married to. So so some of why I mean, you know, long distance can have impact in a relationship, to be honest. You know, and it's good that he's saying that, so that will help him to develop, to get mature enough moving forward.
Yes.
Because, you know, someone that you've been used to, when you go away from them for a while, that can be, you know, you can become, it can be emotional. Let me put it that way. You can get emotional. And if you are someone that can handle your emotion, that can lead to do different, you know, example that he gave, like
But like
having
you
negative,
said,
you
like
know,
you
having
said,
negative imagination and all of that, you know.
the
So
best way to handle it after is what he's doing.
yep,
Go and they pray together.
yeah,
Yes.
play together.
So
Yeah.
It's the
I
best
always
Always
way.
say,
have God.
yes. So I
Always
would
have
tell
God in the
people
middle.
that watching here today as young people, I will be honest with you. I see a lot of people they jumping into marriage now. Most young people jumping into marriage, but you don't understand the fundamental of marriage. Don't just jump into marriage because you see Paul jump into marriage. As a man, you need to respect, you need to love your wife. Love your wife. Because anything you love, you respect it.
Uh,
Once you build the love your wife to the point that
thank
people have said a lot of things. Even some of my family members. This is my policy right now in my marriage. If you're
you.
my auntie, you're my uncle. If you don't like my wife, I don't like you. My mom know me about that.
You gotta be, brother.
No, I'm the only. No, I'm being honest with the
I
show. A
don't
lot of
think the
people.
same way.
My mom, she watched the show. She knows. If you ask my mom, be honest, she will tell you, say, hey, when it comes to Ellie's woman, no, 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 no. You will say
Trust
the
me, your
last
mom
negative thing.
respects you for doing that. She
You will
does.
say the last negative thing.
Thank you.
Ellis,
Let people got Eric just smiling up there. Let's see what everything about this thing is. Eric, are you married?
No, I'm not yet.
Oh, well, at least you're learning. Before you get it, you know what to do now. Let's hear your perspective on that.
Sometimes, let me say this. Sometimes, um, no matter the education that you have, the theoretical education, to put in context, might not fully prepare you for marriage. What
That's true.
will keep you in marriage is the practical experiences that you will have along the way.
Yeah.
Because if you depend on theories, when the practicality meets you and you not cope with that maturity, you might get crushed and even regret why you got married. Uh I'm learning a lot from the two brothers who are already ahead of me. But
Hmm.
with that prepare me to face marriage? It will maybe on the scale of 1 to 10, I would say maybe 3%. But when the practical hits you, you like all your theoretical knowledge, it goes, out of the window.
Okay,
Uh,
so okay, Eric. One thing I would like to say, and then you can just continue. This is what I will give you my own story. This is what happened to me. I was the kind of person who was not good in relationship. People used to call me junk. Most young girls, in Africa, how they call you. When you love some girls, you showing that love and things doing it, they call you junk. But when I went to church and the pastor was preaching, he was teaching, he says, whenever you want to get married, when you're in a boyfriend or girlfriend relationship, whosoever you're dating at that moment, put that person name as your prayer point. So, like example, if Mary going to be my wife, God, let there be a change of behavior. Let there be something within her that I want to see. If she was not be my wife, let there be an argument, a petty argument that's going to part us. It happened to me with the first girl, a girl who I feel I want to get married to. She was not my wife. When I prayed about it, when I put her name into it, my brother little thing made me I catch up. Another person again, she was not my wife. Just a little argument, a slap the guy gave me in my ear. I said, no, 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 the other woman was. She was not my wife. She was not my wife. And one thing is, what I've been observing in that period, whenever I meet some of them, I'll be like, oh, pretty soon after we finish talking a lot, I say, oh, my mom will soon be sending for me. Right after the blue moon, things just slow down. Let me be honest, some relationship is not spiritual. Some of
yeah,
them there to break you down, and some of them there to elevate your life. So relationship is not just about, oh, we are in relationship just to go in a room or to do something. Whenever we in relationship, that's what I say. You have to put God into your relationship aspect. We are not perfect. We are working toward perfection. But one thing about it is, I'm a young guy. I'm just 30 years old. I'm just 30 years old. I'm like, I sit there to the point where sometimes I always tell my young friends, I tell my young friend, I tell them, I say, hey, marriage is not very important. If you get into marriage to the point, you'll be thinking that you want to divorce the next day. The way you boyfriend and girlfriend, you can walk out, not how you can walk out into marriage.
mhm,
You gotta have maturity
That's not how
before
you
you
can
go
walk out
into
into marriage.
marriage, but not a lot of people know that.
Marriage, you got to
Right.
stand, you got to prepare, you got to stand through the fire. Sometimes the devil, like my wife, I know my wife to the 40th. But this is what happened one time. My wife just walked out of the house and went to a new place and slept there for 3 days. I was thinking I was disturbed. I was in the country. That was not her. That's not my wife. But you know what happened? It was the devil that was manipulating her to
That,
feel on
that,
something.
that, Eric, somebody,
So
Eric,
I'll be honest, Eric. If you're trying to pray for marriage, whosoever that you're dating, involve that person name into your prayer plan. That's how
thank you,
God show you your wife. Who told you that God don't speak to you?
thank you, brother. I take your advice in great confidence and in prayers. But you said something that brings me to my study that I did. The listed three reasons that contribute to the rampant divorces that we have had over, I mean, in our generation. To talk about, well, number one, frequent argument. You just
Exactly.
mentioned about argument. There's a frequent argument. Even though Brother Alfred talked talked about earlier on lack of communication, but the primary reason for divorce is according to the study that I have done was frequent arguments. And if we were to ask the hard question, who initiated the argument? Obviously it will boils down to women are more likely to start an argument, but it depends on the man approach. Vice versa, men too can initiate it, but we're just looking at the number. And the second part talks about infidelity, cheating in the home, you know. Um, and as a male, I want to assume that we men are more likely to cheat than our wives or our spouses or whatever.
That's
You
what
know,
an argument comes about.
exactly. So
So,
no, no, that's number two. But no, the first layer is argument. Sometimes it's not about cheating that brings the argument. It's about why did you leave your shoe at the door when you so carry it to the closet? Why did you put your shirt here? These are some little argument that can uh degenerate into serious argument. So he talks about frequent argument, infidelity, and then the last one, women often cite lack of emotional support. In addition to the lack of emotional support, they talk about inequality when it comes to resources in the home. So these are issues that are contributing factor to the breakdown of marriages. Uh, I'm not an authority on the subject. Number two, I've never been married before, but I have had experiences, keeping women, living with me, and some left and some stay, But the point is, what I'm trying to push is that uh, if a man is not mature enough, he cannot maintain a home. Yes, that's
that's
the
true.
bare fact. If you're not mature, you cannot maintain a home because in order to maintain a home, you know, many years ago, I think like you know 15 years ago, I attended a wedding ceremony where
Mm.
the pastor. It was I remember the the month and the date. It was May 14. The pastor said it was a Catholic church. The pastor said marriage is not for two lawyers. Yeah, and I still remember the couple. Thankfully, the both of them in America here, but I've never brought it up to them. But the pastor said, the priest said, marriage is not for two lawyers where you all arguing your rights. It is
Mhm.
actually for two forgivers. But it is almost impossible for a relationship to be blessed with two forgivers. Because when you begin to understand your rights in the home and who is wrong and who is right, that brings about intense argument and it leads to separation. It leads to all kinds of unforeseen circumstances that sometimes, eventually divorce can creep in. So the issue about men and women holding on together, especially where most of us, that are are below 40. Let me say below 40. Many of us we never had that a home that we grew up in where we saw our mother and father living in harmony. Some of us, I assume, if not most of us, we are self-read, or we grew up in a home where either our mom, you know, was the only person taking care of us, where the dad never cares, he was never home. Most time the father even abandoned the mother and could not even man out to say, this is my child. So those things can impact your growth along the way. Because if you never had a home that you say, okay, I want to model my relationship, with the way I saw my mom and my pop living, it's almost impossible for you to have a good home because you'll be starting from scratch. You do not have a point of reference. I don't care how many sermon your pastor can preach or the imam can preach to you, or how many motivational quotation you may have heard or listened to. It will not be enough to prepare you into a solid marriage. But if you had a practical experience where your mom and dad, your mom and your dad live in harmony, it helps you to say, okay, I saw my mom did this one, my father was angry, or I saw my father, accepted this, even though he was in the right. My mom got so outraged and all the kind of stuff. It helps to prepare you. But because we have a moral collapse in our society. Many people, yeah, the
Mm.
moral collapse is part of the key reason that you see marriages are not working today. Because the man started, he did hustle, he's selling by himself down waterside, he put his in school, no pa, no man. He got one day girlfriend, the girlfriend cheated on him one time. He's not gonna take that nonsense. Like, I'm doing everything for you. Why give you the right to cheat on me? All that kind of stuff. He does not take into consideration her tender age, that she wants to experiment. She wants to, because the younger you are, the more likely your sexual libido will increase and want to do things outside of what is a moral compass for you. So these are things, if you don't have a guidance, a point of reference to say, look, my son, don't see your mom at this. She was at that point when I met her, and these are things that I took. I took it because these are the substance that I saw in her, and I weighed it against her liability or her negatives, and I'm able to cope with it. If you don't have that guiding principle, no amount of pieces of advice from Brother Afra or from Brother Alexander or Mr. Tudehu John will prepare me, Eric Previs, to accept those things.
Eric,
Because
I tend to disagree with you a little bit on that.
go ahead.
Because while that may be true in a nutshell, a lot of people learn from that bad experience and it turns to do different, right? Like, let's say your dad was a womanizer, woman beater, deadbeat, and you saw your mom struggling in that role, right? She was never happy. She was always, as a child, you growing her, seeing her that way. Some people take that and run with it. Like, I would never, the way I see my mom, the way my dad was, I would never want to be like that. I'm not gonna be that. Like you hate your dad.
No,
Right?
I mean, I agree, but that's your point of reference. I mean, my point is, no, I mean, my point is that is your point of reference. At least you have a reference in whom that will guide your next step to say, I saw my father doing this to my mom and I didn't like it. Take, for example,
or my dad wasn't there. I would not want that for my children.
Exactly.
I would want a marriage or a home. I would want a home where I have a mom and dad presence, that my children would not go through the trauma I went through about, for not having my dad in my life or my mom in my life. I would want to do better. Sometimes, yes, they turn out to be the same way. They may make the same thing deceased, it is whatever. But now, all of the time, we say there's no sermon or no advice that anybody can give you. No, sometimes some people like take that negative and turn it into a positive, and some people tend to continue that negative trend.
All right.
Alex said, you got to get yourself in the will of God. Be if you a Muslim, you're a Christian, you're something, ground yourself in that your faith. Let that be your guidance. Like I tend to say all the time, right? Like our background as Africans, we got so many things, generational, spiritual, this and that. I tend to, kind of separate myself from that all the time. I am not my mother. I am not my, bloodline, whatever negativity that was. It depends on your faith, how much you are grounded in your faith. That's how I look at it. But let Tuwe come in.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, you interrupted me. Just give me my few minutes. Let me go, Brother Peter.
But Eric, close up.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you, Brother Peter. I'm sorry. Before Ture coming, I mean, you supported my point partially. The what I was saying was, if you have a point of reference, it helps to guide you. For example, if you grew up in a home with a single mom, it helps to prepare you to say, look, I don't want my wife to become, or my child mother or my children mother to become a single mom, or because I felt the pain of what happened to me as a child without a father. It helps to prepare. That is education. That's practical education by itself. And I'm speaking in the context of on a general perspective. There are individual cases. For example, if I ask you, why are you Christian? You tell me more likely your mom, your father are Christian. You didn't join Christianity because, you just saw or you read by yourself. Is where your parent taught you. Or if you are a Muslim, it's where your parent took you. So that's the emphasis that I'm trying to, lay to you. In addition to that, like me, I'm sorry that I have to bring my personal experience here, which I started with and I want to conclude with, is that at the age of 3 months, I was told that my father was, a very abusive man on my mom. So at the end of the day, my mom could not tolerate that, and she had to say, take your child and go. So I grew up with our mom. And even my father, at one point in time when the war occurred, I could not see him. So all through my life, I'm like, okay, if I have my first child, I do not want to create that void so that, his mother can tell him, say, your power abusive. Because the child turns to hate, that parent, that fatherly love to say, oh, my father didn't care. So I thought that okay, my father was abusive. He was beating on his girlfriend. Those are things that I don't want to do. So those were practical experience that I lived through. I became a victim of that. So what I'm saying in short is that those things help to prepare you in life. But in the situation where you don't have a mother the covering, a father the covering, I don't care what kind of seminar you go through, it takes the special grace of God to prepare you for marriage.
Thank
That's the
you.
point of reference that I was trying to put across.
Welcome to it.
Hey,
Were you
welcome,
watching our
guys.
video from the back? As you
Yeah,
know, to this
great.
social Saturday.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I think this is good for our own social growth and just handling a relationship. I like the fact that we're transitioning from politics into some social importance. But yeah, absolutely.
Just for today.
No,
Oh,
no. But
Saturdays.
the goal is to have these maybe every Saturday. I think that's what we're gonna continue on moving forward. But look,
No,
look,
brother Eric is right. Just for today, you might not know what will happen on a Saturday.
no, I came in on a conversation and I already know exactly where everyone is pivoting to. Look, I was just having a conversation with somebody like today. You know what I mean? I mean, it is. I don't know whether it's a coincidence or not, but I'll tell somebody. I say
Confirmation.
we become what we see. There's this adage that says, our our environment, our village, our community have
Your
a greater
environment, maybe.
influence in shaping who we become, right?
Mhm.
And it don't
Yeah.
matter who you are. Like some of us, the way we our outlook on life today, being in States now for 18 years, is almost like it has shifted drastically. You know what I mean? I don't think like the way I thought before. You know what I mean? Like I don't, and you're absolutely right. Eric, look, I was telling somebody, I said the reason why parents find it hard in dealing with their troubled teenagers in this country is because they have now sort of like divorced themselves from their past trauma and how they were raised. In sort of like they try to project onto their children, based on how their child experiences and how they were raised. Or how dare you talk back to me? Or how dare you say friend? Or how dare you look in my eyes and roll your eyes? Stop. These were an absolute abomination. Like your mom or dad talking to you like, bro, and anything like that. You dare not suck your teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so how do you take yourself out of that space and know that you live in a country that actually literally gave people right to free expression? You
A
can't
free
smack
expression
on
doesn't
your.
mean disrespect.
No. It's not about disrespect. I mean, look,
You can free to
allow me
express
to
yourself
live.
without
Amy,
disrespecting your parents.
Amy, no. Amy, look, Amy. There's the thing, because lot of our brothers and sisters have gotten in a lot of trouble because of this. You know what I mean? We have to understand. I get it. It may seem disrespectful. I would never do that. My mom talking to me, I suck my teeth or roll my eye or something away. That is a disrespect, right? But this is the thing though. If you go in front of a judge, right, and then this is God forbid, and you guys are talking like you and your son or daughter on the stand, and the judge actually, okay, what happened? And then
And then they say, well, I just roll my eyes. And that's why your mom actually lays on you for. That'll be a total different conversation. All right. But this is the thing though. If you know better, you almost destined to do better. If you grew up in a home where relationship was not, what was not, sort of like it was not loving, for lack of a better word. There were a lot of abuse and stuff like that. A lot of times, children that grew up in a broken home, they're almost certainly destined to pivot to the kind of style. Like children that grew up in an abusive home, they're almost like Eric said, it takes the grace of the Almighty God to have you live a life outside of that. Even financially, children that grew up in a home where there was a financial literacy, you know what I mean? Those children tends to do well with their finances down the road. Take, for example, look at African American athletes. A lot of them go broke 5 years after their playing careers. You know why? And if you look at the white athletes, on the other hand, they tend to actually live on their career gain for years, after they are retired. So if you look at that, it's because a white athlete, they grew up in a very, home where there's mom and dad, they live within their means, they have absolute control over their finances and stuff like that, opposed to African American kids that grew up with, foster home, mom probably was on drugs, dad in prison.
We're taking off from our topic all the way.
From different shelter to different shelter.
To raise your own coats. To raise your own coats.
Because of the grace of God blessing him with some athletic talent and stuff like that, and that kid find himself in the NBA or NFL, you tell me, $100 million contract for that man, he don't even know what the hell to do with $100 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So relationship is the same way. If you didn't grow up in a home where your dad would kiss your mom every morning on the cheek, okay, honey, good night, I'll see you, I'm on my way to work. If you didn't grow up in that kind of environment, it is almost difficult for you to project that into your own relationship.
So, Ture, with that, previously you said that your environment shaped you.
Yes.
In the way you were in Africa, you came here, you've been here for 18 years now.
Right.
You have transitioned from that mentality and you are over here. So why do our African men struggle? Some of them been here years, right? Out of that system, out of that something. They came here. There are a lot of things they're doing here that they were not doing in Africa.
Right.
That they want to do here. Personally. They practice it. They learn it. They do it. Why not being a good husband? Why is that difficult? Because you never saw your dad kissing your mom. Why is that difficult? Because if you can learn everything else, if you're in an environment that you've seen those things happen, but in my opinion, I call it nitpicking, right? You what's important to you is what you're paying attention to. Is it fair to say that?
Well, it is absolutely fair to say that. Like, let me just give an example. Like bro Eric said, when I came out of high school, I saw parents coming to our soccer game, right?
It's a game in
right. And my parents live like literally across the street from my school. They never made it to a single game. you know what I'm saying, right? No, I'm just being real. Look, they never made it to a single game. I could literally stand on my feet and throw rock and go laying right in my yard. You know what I'm saying? But it never made it to a single game. And meanwhile, my teammates, when I look across the stand, their mom, their dad, their
grandma,
right? They all come into the game. And you see that you take your son to the football practice and stuff like that. You see these things, right? All of these things play on a child. You know what I mean? Like all these things. Sometimes I'll be like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, what's up? But I'm not gonna hold that against my parents because I knew my circumstances is different from the other children. We just move into the country. Mom have to go to work. Dad have to go to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. You know, so it's a total different situation. But you have to actually wire your brain to think about some of these things and try to differentiate your circumstances for that of, you know, other people. And to answer your question, Amy, look, the reason why some of my brothers and sisters have not really, capitulated to living life as it is here is because they have not devolved themselves from their past reality. You know what I mean? You have to almost re-educate yourself how these things have to play out. You know, I did not see my dad like. I mean, that was absolute taboo, at least from my culture. You know what I mean? Like kiss. Well, I've never, even up to today, I've never seen that. You know what I'm saying, right? So, I mean, and now you come here like you seeing these things, and you want to really do that because the first example a child learns, you know, how to be sort of like loving and stuff like that, it's through both parents, right? Mm-hmm. How your son's supposed to treat, you know, his wife and stuff like that. You almost have to teach your son that. And likewise, the mother have to teach the daughter how to actually, you know, be able to hold a man down, right? And like you said, that relationship, when you see relationships last longer, it's because someone decided to say, you know what, I'm not gonna look at every little thing, you know, because if you really want to live long with somebody, Amy, you almost have to like some issues you have to just appear like you didn't even hear it, you know, because someone says something. If you have a like let's say a very sensitive ears and you want to actually respond to everything that's said, right, or everything that's done, you want to find your right in everything. You are now ready for a sustained relationship.
Thank you, Terrell. Let's go to the next thing to this and then talk about. Let's go to the next 3 seconds. 5 seconds.
But I'm to Kasama make his input on the topic.
No, Morris, just tell me. Morris, just tell me. We're not going back to the first something. Morris, we're moving on now. I saw Morris. I said hi to Morris.
Okay. Morris, she gotta go on.
If we go back to the first segment that Morris missed, then we'll not go to the second one. Though.
Show to you, model that behavior. If you don't model the behavior, it goes from head to bottom. If you are the head of the home, any behavior you want your wife to show to you, model that behavior. If you don't model the behavior, you are not a leader. You're not a good leader. If you want truth and honesty in marriage, as the leader of the home, model that for your wife to copy. Model that for your children to copy. If you want compassion and respect from your wife, model compassion and respect first to your wife. Your wife will learn of you and you will pass it on to the children. If you want any virtue you want from your woman, model it first. But our men are not ready to model these behaviors, these virtues, but they want the women to give it to them. How does that work?
Doesn't make sense.
How does it work? If you talk to, unfortunately, you know, like you talked in one of your videos, some of these narratives we've had of old, they are destroying men. They are destroying men, seriously, my brother. Marriages are failing because some men are not able to hold it down. Some men are intimidated when they see a woman. And I'll give you an instance. You're married to a woman, you live in the diaspora, wherever. All of a sudden, your woman is now building new capacities. You know, educating herself, enrolling for courses and all that. She gets a top job. She starts earning more than you. Some men already become so incensed. All right? In his mind, he started thinking as a typical Nigerian man. This woman may not respect me anymore because now she's earning more than me. He's already having that mindset, that threat.
Self-defeated.
And before you know it, those words that the woman used to say before that didn't mean anything to him, he will now begin to consider them as disrespect.
True.
He will not begin to frustrate this woman. She will want to, stifle this woman just to bend, like forcefully bend her. And he will break the marriage, the good marriage they had. I say to our men, all right, you cannot marry a woman. A woman is developing herself. You don't want to develop yourself. Why? Why? How does that work? Build new capacities as your wife is building new capacities. My brother, do not stop. Keep telling them, because a man, when you talk to our Nigerian people, I am the provider, I am the protector. Unfortunately, women are not providers.
Let's stop there. So this is about intimidation. This part is about your partners do it. Why we talk about the ways, men want to be respected, they want to be treated, they're the head of the house, they something, but they are not mimicking those behavior, right? That we said for the wife. Yes, and people try to all the time go back to the old days. Oh, doing the old days. Our mother and our grandmother, they used to do that. Our grandmother, they used to do that. Yeah, our grandmother didn't have no choice at the time. They didn't know. They will tell you they were not hurting, when they felt disrespected or whatever. But that was they did. What they knew was to be mute and just take it in. Let it stay in and die in it, right? How dare you talk about it? That is abomination. But it's not like that today. And some of the things our fathers were doing, it's being done totally different today, right? People are like in some home. People are literally like some men would do things. They are disrespecting this woman, or they are doing everything, running out there, doing everything in the street. And when this woman says something, then she's not submissive. What are you talking about? What do you call submissive? What do you call respect? You are not respecting this woman. Now, like I said before, I'm not saying that you don't have some, like the brother in the video said, there are some useless women, there are some useless men. In every situation, you have some women that some situation there that is just, you can't defend that, right? They are just that. But in the majority, like we know, like we talk about, and then in this kids there too. Some people are like, okay, she making more than me. Some men get intimidated about that. Yeah. And then some men, like, I should have loved it, but now all of them, some men, I should have loved it. But some men get intimidated by that, and they get, like you said, everything becomes a problem. They are provider, they are this, they are that. You're splitting the bill well, and I'm not saying like when a man is down, that's why you have a helper. The woman is your helper. She's a this, she's a that. If it's the burden is too much, of course, your woman is supposed to be there. But as much too, why is she doing that? You yourself, you can be the king of Africa, sitting there. What my food at? You know what I mean? What my leg? I wear shorts. What my food at? What my just say? You doing all of that? But you want for the woman to help you in your, something to provide. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So, and then you want her to be like everything about her shouldn't change, but she should accommodate you. But usually, how some men here, when they try to provide, then they disrespect the other partner because she's doing everything else, right? But they're not looking at it.
It should go both ways.
It's about money to the African man. If it's not money, then you're not contributing. So, like he's saying here, I'm a provider. But yeah, she can provide too, and all of that. So, Morris, welcome. Let's start with you. Saying you just coming in from the video something.
Good evening to everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's a good topic, and this is something that I really find passion in, instead of just the regular political discussion, because sometimes it just it's so annoying, and it's good that sometimes we just get off the politics and just discuss this kind of stuff. Look, There was a study done, I think, by Oxford University 85 years ago. And that study, the result of that study still stands to be the number one result. And what the results say, the study was about what is the main factor for a healthy relationship. This was like 85 years ago. If you go on, just go and search, you will see it. This research was done by Oxford, and they said the determining factor for healthy relationship was not money, it was not power, it was not fame, it was peace. And the result of that research still stands as number one. Because today we see there are a lot of people get money today, they get power, they don't have a healthy relationship. How many times they celebrated and get divorced every night and then?
No, well, sticking on the African side, well, in our culture, we're talking about culture, that's why we play.
Yeah, but even we can limit it to our culture. It still stand. We can even limit it to our culture. It still stand. For you to have a healthy relationship is peace, not just money, not power, not any other thing. Look, when we were coming up, there was a whole lot of stuff that could protect relationship. There was a bond that could protect relationship. Mm-hmm. When people get married, it's not just the husband and the wife. Sometimes even the friends, even the family, the community can protect that relationship. And this is what I always say, right? Today, we don't even have somebody that we can say, this is our pa. Our children, let me say, because we are fathers now, our children can't even say, this is somebody, if I can't get to my pa, who can I get to? Who among my pa friends that I can get to? Who among my ma friends that I can get to? There are a lot of us. We don't even have such. We got people who hang out, we sit down, we go out. But if our children stuck somewhere, they will be scratching their head. Who can I call? My pa there with me. Who I will call? Where can I go to? Those days when we're coming up, when the papa there or the oma there, we got somebody, that papa friend who can go to and talk to them. By the time that oma come, that whole thing resolved. So there was a strong bond at the time. But today, it's not there. Probably because of the culture, because of the Western influence, the media, the technology, that could also play impact. Those days we could see our fathers, we don't even know, and the people they were not having money, but they were so peace. Maybe they were so super strategic in a way that we can't even know whether they can make flour or not. What has happened today? And probably the reason to that, because everything, I think they respect the wife. The wife, they give so much respect to the wife, because in a home, the women were so fearful. Our mothers, we used to be so afraid of them. When the Oma yelled, the papa there was some, but the Oma, because they had power, the power was given to them in the home to control the home. And when women control home, that home is peaceful. That evidence that home is peaceful. There was one French philosopher. He said, "Women controls the world because women controls those who control the world." When women are happy in the home, trust me, that home is peaceful. When the woman tie her faith, when the man tie her faith, all the children can know that the man tie her faith. But trust me, the papa can tie her faith for whole months and the children don't even care. He will not even care whether the papa there or the papa not there. So the women, they have that control. But today, because today it's not like that. It's not seen that way. So you see there's too much of, problem in the home. There's no healthy relationship because for the most part, the women are not in control. And just in 5 seconds, even the women themselves contribute to this too, because sometimes too, they don't even know what, if you ask most women what you really want in a relationship, sometimes will tell you, I just want men that will love me. But hey, it's not auto A, that's not peace. Some of the lovers are the most violent men. They drink a lot. They are the women beaters, but they still love you. Men can love you, but they still don't respect you. But a lot of women don't even know this.
How do you love without respect?
Men can love you, men can beat you, men can cheat on you, but he still don't love you. It's something that you just got to think deep to know that. Men can love you, but they still beat you. They still cheat on you. They still don't respect you.
You cheat on them? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, men can love you, but they still cheat. Some of the lovers, Some of the lover men are out there looking for women, where their wife home. So the point here is that just to close it up, healthy relationship depends on peace in the home. The women must have control. When the women are in control not in mean that you should control your wife and this and that. Just give the women the ultimate respect and to let them know that they control the homes. Trust me, there will be healthy relationship and there will be peace in the home.
Alfred, so with what the brother said, you want to see all of these things, like as African men, since we're sticking with our culture. I know he said Nigeria, but it's all of Africans that do that, right?
I didn't say Nigeria. I didn't mention anything about Nigeria.
No. They that the video she's referring to.
The video. Oh, I didn't even listen to that video anyway.
So we in the African home, we want to see respect, but most of our men don't feel like women need respect too. Most of them behave like the women don't have flesh for hearts. What's in her chest is stones, because they can do anything. However, they want to do it out there. They want to send it out their ball. The woman shouldn't be the one to do that. Then it's abomination. Which sometimes, even though some women are out there that do those things, but sometimes it's what you continue to do to a person, right? They want you to see how they feel, right? So like he was saying, and then sometimes too, with the whole being intimidated because your partner doing this and doing that. Does that, as an African man, is he, saying it true in your book? Or?
Well, I agree with the brother in some of the assertions he made, especially when it comes to, being a role model.
Mm-hmm.
Part of my life as a kid, I live.
Yeah.
Part of my life as a kid, I live in foster care, and in that home I lived in, my foster dad used to come from work 5 p.m. on the dot. In home 5 p.m. on the dot. So everybody that live in our house, 5 p.m. on the dot, they know that he is home. So he modeled that with us. So if you want for your children to be home at a certain time, you have to model it. If you want for your children when they grow up tomorrow that they can have that same mindset, you have to model it. That's leadership. You can't say you want your children to be home by 9 o'clock, then you stay outside. That's not leadership. You're not modeling anything for them that they can follow.
But so your dad had one job.
Of course, yes. I agree. Yes. But Eric, back in the days, the job that people had could sustain their family. It was a well-paying job. As per that standard.
Yeah.
As per that standard back in the days, that people had one job. They were not struggling. Even you myself have 2 jobs, they will stay struggling. So that point one is that we shouldn't talk about our own. We're talking about back in the days. You know what I mean? So 5 o'clock, my dad used to be home. So all of us in the house, when you go up, guys used to play football. I go play football. I look at the time because when daddy comes home and you're not clean up, you're not taking bath, you're not studying, you're in trouble. You gotta kind of meet everybody home and doing something. Once that man step in the house, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing because by 5 p.m. everybody supposed to be studying, and you're not studying. You answer a question. Why are you not studying at 5? Why are you not on your book at 5? Because by the time you enter the thing and start with, why this one is not done? Why this one is not done?
That's the same way him and your relationship.
So modeling, being a role model starts with you. So you as a head of the home, you have to model everything that you want that home to be. If you are a man that like drinking business, guess what happens when your children see you? That's the same kind of lifestyle you want to model. If you are a man that can be cheating with me, the other woman come today, tomorrow the other woman come to what? Children and her watching, they can see.
Okay, let's see within the mom and dad something because
context. Okay, let's see what that. So you as a man, you want to have a better wife, You have to model that. One, you got to be honest. When you say something, let it be true. Your way of dressing, if you want your wife to be a good woman that you can dress better, you have to dress better first that she can see you and admire. You know what I mean? The money that you make, you have to make sure that your wife know how much you make. There are some men, even as we speak, there are women don't know how much they make. That women don't know how much they make. Your wife can't even look at your bank account. I'm talking about for her to have access to access for her to just look at it. There are some men, I'm telling you, just for her to know how much you got there. Some men don't do that. You know? So those are the things that if you want to have a better home, like my brother Ture put it, a peaceful home, those are the elements that need to be put together to have that honesty, to have that trust, to have that belief that a woman can say, yeah, I have a protector. That a woman can say, oh yeah, I have a father in the home that cares about us. But if you are not doing those things, it leads to lack of trust. Sometimes the woman will not trust you on anything because you not model anything that she can follow. Today, as I speak to you right now, when my wife takes pay today, she'll call me on the phone and tell me how much she get there. She'll tell me. Because I started with her. When in Liberia, I was in the military. My paycheck was $200 United States. I used to take that whole money and go and carry her and give it to her. So she trusts me when it comes to that.
Your friend Oko used to do.
I used to take the whole money and give it to her.
I say your friend Oko used to do because I can call people like that.
And guess what? For that that two boy I go, I will eat. I was in school. I would the traumatization come there. So I get I don't care about what she go for. She don't go with oh, I know my traumatization will come every time. And guess what? The traumatization will come until the semester finish. For that two boy.
You see.
So just calculate how much if you're growing like bro, you know the traumatization business and that phone. So just calculate that. So the while the brother say I agree with him, you gotta model what you want to see in your relationship. If you're not model, nobody gonna follow you. That woman right now, she then not sleeping. She can trust me on anything.
Thank you.
She can put her on top of me for anything because I model it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father. I'm not a man. Real father. That is it not yet. You understand? So you have to really model what you want to see happens in your relationship. Because that can lead to trust issue. It can build confidence. It can, you can have good emotional health.
Thank you. That comes to my next question, Alex. I always hear this thing like men, oh, I don't have peace in my own home. She's not giving me peace. And those are the ones that the most cheaters, they run around, they everything. And the peace they're talking about, Alex, is when a woman get upset, she see these things, right? And she asking about them, or she getting upset like any normal human being with something would do. The same thing with him when he sees stuff like that. It's like, how far? You're doing great. No, he's not going to do that. He would do the same thing, right? So is that fair? That's what the man said in his video. That so they pour all the blame, African men, they pour all the blame on women as everything that happened in the relationship. Right? When you are doing these things, right? And they try to, this is where they try to bring their forefather this. Oh, our forefather then, our mother, our father used to have 10 weddings. I was in the bull crap. Try to link that promiscuous behavior to that, right? Try to make these excuses. So is it fair for a man, African men, to ask for somebody? Alex, somebody not call you. So
yeah.
Okay, so be asking for peace when who's supposed to be the head, who's supposed to make everything at home. Who's supposed to set the stage in the home, right? You want peace, you bring peace in the home, the woman follows. You want this, you bring this in it. So is that when these people coming on and talking about I'm the head, I'm the this, I'm the that? Do they really know what being a head mean here? Like, according to what this brother said, and from what I already know, and I know what most good men know, that something is that do African men, some African men, not all of them. You got some brilliant guys on the video talking. So I would not, like, white people can put it all across the table, all African. No, I would not do that. You have some really grounded, brilliant, mature, and well stable and organized African men that really do well in their relationships. I'm not going to put it across the whole something and stuff, but most of them, do they really know what's being the head of a home means? Is he there?
Yeah.
You get a call, you want your pastor to it?
No, yeah. So I listened to the video, the second video, and I learned something where he's talking about don't forget about yourself. Build yourself as the same way your wife is going to be built. One thing I would say this that I always implement. When I met my wife, the first thing I did, I took her to church. That's the first thing I did. And I'm not in Liberia.
You sure you ain't gonna be brother?
I'm not in Liberia. What she did, she followed me and she taking the kids to church. And then another thing is, always build your wife that she can represent you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I'm not in Liberia, but let's just say I have something going on. I can send my wife. I say, hey, go and represent me. Because education-wise, I build her. I build her to the point where, she can stand out there publicly and speak on behalf of the family and know what to say to both of her. They get some man, sorry to say, one of my auntie daughter, which I call her my big sister, like one time I was so mad to the point where I called her mom. I like, my big sister got married a long time before me, but I don't like the way her lifestyle look. Her husband she get today, he loves to beautify himself, but he don't beautify his wife.
Selfish.
She look old and she's a young girl. He go to school, he educate himself, but he don't put his wife to school. He, to the point, he had the audacity to call me and tell me to send his cell phone. He owned all the social media platforms. But my big sister, not even on the thing called Facebook first, before I talk about the other platforms. Why? Is that everything? Do you think everything good for you? No. So as a man, as a husband, you need to build your wife. That today or tomorrow, that when someone see your wife, they should know that they're finishing you. The moment you see my wife, you will know that Mr. Peters. Because
so let me play the devil advocate a little bit too, right? You have a lot of good men who do that, right? They do that all the time, and then it turns out that these women leave them after they.
Let me come to that.
In some cases, that happens. So should that be the reason to traumatize every man? Well, anyway,
let me come to that. No matter what, let me be honest with you. Woman as whole, if that person for you is for you, play your part. Once that person in your life, play your part.
Yeah, sure.
I can tell you, before I get married, all my exes now, up to now, they regret why they never married me.
They can spoil
I'm the kind of person, if I'm in a relationship, when I leave, you will regret it. Because you start to think about every moment that we made. And one thing I always tell my young friends that come after us, I have never wanted to see my father or heard that he beat on my mother. Do not beat on your girlfriend, either your wife. That person is not a beating job. It's not good. Because if you're doing that, you're putting yourself into a serious issue that you think that, oh, because it will go to the point that you will lose that woman. You lose her to death. You lose her to death. So that's the kind of point, it's good. Educate your wife. At the same time, you educate yourself. Oh, I think she left. We need to build ourselves in a sense. That's why I say marriage.
Toure will take charge. Just go ahead.
Yeah, Toure will
Time
take over.
ratio.
Toure regulate the
Yeah.
conversation.
Just go ahead.
Relationship is different, and marriage is totally different. Sometimes you'll be good in the boyfriend and girlfriend, but the moment you enter marriage, things circle around, things change. Things change. I wouldn't lie to you like what my big brother Alfred are talking about. I will be honest. So down to the point when I said, I said, wait, did I make a mistake to get married soon? That's the question. I said, let me be honest. I got married when I was boyfriend and girlfriend. I never see my wife. Thank God. I just been praying. I said, God, let my wife be the funnest woman in my. Even when I'm married, that she be fine. But sometimes I'll be honest, the devil is very tricky. The day I got married, the next day, sometimes on Facebook, you see the getting when the impossible, you see woman, you say, but you be thinking, but well, I think I need to go back to where I see all those things, it can work. Build your relationship, build a woman, educate the woman. If you want to see the beauty in the woman, it's education.
30 seconds.
That's it.
All right. Build a woman. Build a woman. If you want to see the woman, obviously do what you gotta do. So look, let's get to Eric. Eric obviously watched the tip. The brother said a lot of stuff. And all I could take from it was that Mama Gandhi quote, be the change you want to see, right? But is it possible that some men have how we call this self-imposed inferiority complex?
Yes.
Lack self-confidence.
Yes.
Like they hate to see other people like progress. They hate to see other people like climbing the ladder of self elevation. So what is your position on men that feel some level of, or at least feel intimidated when their partner, someone that they actually saw, liked, approached, right? Went through all of that boyfriend and girlfriend situation. They went and asked the person, parents' hands in marriage, marry that person. Where in that whole structure and in that whole system where you feel intimidated, brother? I just want you to expound on that area.
This is what I would say, Brother Tuli. And I will speak from the African context. The typical African man never saw a dominant woman. They always grew up in a home of a submissive woman or a submissive wife. The reason for that was our grandmothers and even mothers were not, quote unquote, educated. They were not exposed to Western education because it was the tradition at the time that the women were cornered to household activities, cooking, taking care of the men, and minding the children. Our generation exposed women to Western education, and we were not educated to cope with that, because with education comes rights, comes responsibility, comes what is wrong, what is right, what should be, what shouldn't be. So when our wives or our current girlfriends begin to have that exposure, it then plays like I would say, it plays a restraint on us to think to like, what's going on here. My mother never challenged my father like this. Why is it that my wife is talking up to me? And the reason for that is that because your mother or your grandmother never had that education, to challenge your grandfather or your father. Now that is happening to you, it's like you think that your wife is, disrespectful to you or not listening to you, and that has to do with the education or the Western education that she has got. So based upon that, we turn to see it as disrespect. Like you were even talking about the Western education. Like here, these things are normal. The reason they are normal because their family or their wives grew up in that setting. That you're not the only one who will pay the bill. But back home,
But
we
but
we pay.
Brother Eric, do you agree with the assertion he brought me in the video about modeling, being a role model for the family? Do you agree with some of the assertion he made?
Well, his perspective is limited to the African culture. If we export it to the West, it will not hold water because in the West, yeah, there's no single person that can be a role model or that has that leadership role. It's like a co-part, or everyone has a part to play. But in the African sector, the reason you see men had that dominance leadership was because all of the financial burden, you know, uh, uh, were hanging on the male. You must take care of the woman medical bill, take care of the rent. If you people are renting, the children's school fee, everything is on you because
Take
the
care of
our
co-parents.
exactly very good. Her mom comes to you for care. Her dad comes to you for days because our forefathers or our grandfathers' wives were not working; they were just home. Only the man go to the farm or he does whatever work he able to do to take care. So that leadership in the West is shifted based upon their upbringing. So that's why you see men and women here competing for leadership role. Okay, so that is a point that I think the brother who was speaking ignore. So, but for the African setting, it works. But even right now, it is not holding water. That's why
It's
you
shifting.
find that an African woman who has a master's degree is certain not to marry a high school dropout male. How many of our sisters back home who have attained a master's degree or even BSc going to high school dropout? You don't find them. But you find a male who has a master's degree, even PhD, going to high school dropout to marry as a wife because he think he has that orientation that it doesn't matter the woman that he marries or education background doesn't matter because he's built with that mindset that he is the one to take care of the home. He does not depend on the woman financial resources to maintain the home. I agree that of recent it is starting to have a paradigm shift. You know, I agree with that. But even before Brother Ture brought me in, I had like three questions. Two were directed to the host, and then one was directed to you, Mister you Brother Afra, and Mister Peters. Uh, and that is
Yeah, go ahead with your question. I'll listen.
yes, thank you. That is I met this girl. I told her that I have a policy. You don't check in my phone because I don't want you to read things that will offend you because I'm I'm I was in a relationship or many relationships that people still talk to me, I still talk to them, and besides other things going on, I don't want to reach in my phone and I will not do the same to you. She consented from the initial point of conversation to have her in my home. Fast forward, she started to enjoy the liberty that I gave and things going fine. And then she started to check in my phone while I'm asleep. And based upon that, quarrel begins in the homes, started busting my phone, fighting me for messages, and I walk out of that home. Is that is that being selfish on my part not to allow her checking my phone
Yes.
and did she add by checking in my phone and making quarrel with me? And is that something that you want me to take to my future wife to say don't check in my phone? And I wouldn't do the same because in my situation I never did the same to her, but she did it to me and it caused collapse of the relationship. Was that at fault? What
All
can I
right.
learn from that?
You want me to
And
go
the
go
reason
ahead?
I asked the both of you because the both of you, publicly say that you both are married. That's the reason. But if
You want
any
me,
of the co-hosts here who are married can also pick upon what I said to both of you.
you want me to go ahead,
Well,
bro? Okay.
in part, I would say that you were trying to set a standard. But on the other hand, it was not a good one. Like the video we're trying to portray here, honesty in a relationship, like I said, honesty in a relationship is key, right? You have your phone, she has the phone. The fact that you said she should not check in your phone raise a red flag that you are not to be trusted. But you want a relationship that your partner can trust you. So by the fact that you saying that you shouldn't check your phone because you have had you have had other relationship before, people can say talk to you and all of that, you did not lay the foundation where she can trust that you have made a decision to move on, whether or not people that you have intimate relationship with can stay talk to you. I don't know whether or not you gave her a background history, or you maybe even told her about those relationships that you had and what were the cause that you left that relationship, and you are not intending to go to the relationship anymore. I don't know what the conversation was between the two of you before reaching the point of saying, I don't want you to check in my phone. Because that would be the last thing you'll be saying. Because you can't just see somebody, oh, you tell them, I don't want you to check my phone. You must have had some level of conversation. Did you talk to this person or this girl that you are trying to commit to? Did you have previous conversation? What led you to have left that relationship and not go back to it again? Did you do that? Did you have a conversation with this person? So, the person was myself together before, and I have no dealing with them before. I don't have no dealing with them again, and I'm moving forward with my life, and I want you to be part of that journey. Did you have a conversation like that before we should the person say, I don't want you to check in my phone? Because the danger there is that if you tell somebody, so I don't want to check in your phone, it raises that of suspicion. Even if the person loves you, they will tell you, so okay, in the beginning, that's a short term. It's a short term thing because they don't want to, especially so if you are doing significantly well for them.
Yeah.
In terms of taking care of them, what have you financially, they will say okay in the interim. But then in the long run, especially if the person want to continue the relationship with you, they will want to start checking why they been saying I should not do this, I should not do this, I should not do that, and you're not telling me why.
Okay. All right.
You
All
know?
right. Let bring in Alex. Alex, have your spin on it too, so that continue on other topic. Then
No, but just before Alice
No.
coming, I just want to know from Brother Alfred, was I in the wrong to do that?
Yeah, Eric.
Yes, you were wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're
That's right.
absolutely
I mean,
wrong. And Moro have his spin on it too.
Let me just say it after you were wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric.
Yeah.
If you don't need a relationship, don't get into a relationship. If someone hurt you, don't go back into a relationship now, because you feel like putting the rules, oh, my phone, you can't touch my phone, or this, then you don't need to get in a relationship. And most especially marriage, relationship that will lead to marriage. In marriage, your phone, that your wife phone. Yes. In marriage, you don't put no password on your phone.
Brother Morris does not agree.
No, wait. Let him enter your room.
No, I just cracking. I just cracking. You gotta hear the way Morris is.
No, I'll be honest.
Go ahead.
In marriage, when I go la bureau, they phone my girl.
But not all men can agree with that.
They phone my girl. When I go la bureau, the phone can be right in my wife's hand.
Wow.
Because you got nothing to hide, bro.
I can leave it and go anywhere. Her phone, she can leave it in my hand. My phone, that's my wife's phone. You call the first thing is, anybody that call, whether you can be cash up front or girls or whatsoever you call, my wife will answer your phone. She will answer. And you got to explain, who are you? So the thing is, if you get into a relationship and you start to put the ground rules, you can't touch my phone, you can't do this, My brother, then you need
It's a
relationship.
red flag right away.
You don't need relationship. You're not ready for life.
Okay, so you're not ready for life. You're not ready for relationship. Says Peters. Eric, let's go back to you, man. Conclude.
Yeah, okay. So, like I said, I had 3 questions. One was directed to my 2 brothers who are already married, and my 2 question has to do with the host. I mean,
Uh,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm directing
the
the.
internet was convoluted, so I just got back. What's going on here? What you been talking about?
No, that's what you're about to hear. I'm giving you the question. We'll give you the basic.
Uh-huh.
If I may ask, um, our parents, or grandparents, their relationship, which one, and comparing that with us, which one lasted longer?
What?
And if so, which one lasted longer? And if
Wait.
so, why?
What?
You talking about parents and grandparent relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one lasted
There's one
longer?
thing. I got one word for you.
Which one lasted longer? And if so, why? And which one would you, prefer?
All right, this question directed at Amy rather. Amy, go ahead. We relationship between ours now, this DNA,
Mhm.
and our grandparents. I mean,
Well,
and why what
their
was the key
lasted.
ingredient that sustained those relationships?
I don't know if I'll call it ingredients, but yeah, they lasted longer because than today's, right? One thing is education. You know,
Mhm.
they're having a lasting relationship back then does not mean that they were doing everything right. It's just that they still had the skill on their eye, and today the skill has been removed from our eyes. So,
Wait, what?
What you talking about?
What are you talking about, Amy? You know what, look, I think Amy have not fully digested the question yet.
No, she processing yet. But let me hear for. Let me hear
Hold
for.
on, wait.
no,
Let me-
I know it. He asked me, "What do you mean?"
No, because okay, wait. I mean, look, there's the thing. You said lack of education, right?
Back then,
Yeah, that's what she said.
And the reason why, so you mean lack of education made that relationship
To stay long.
to stay long? Is that what you
well,
saying?
lack of education on the women's part, and the men's part, respect. Even though they were doing a lot of, you know, foolishness, I would call it, but the respect level then, right? It was, well, not all of them, but it was higher, right? So this is what I mean. Today, there has been a lot of, back then, let's say people like in a video, I don't think we got to that. The guy said that whenever a family, a man, African man, had 2 girls' children and a boy, whether those girls were older or not, they would choose to educate that boy and let those girls stay right where they're at, right? And then everything was what the men told you was right, is what you went by, women back then, right? If you want to use the biblical or guided way of doing things, they would say, "Oh, the Bible says that, or the Quran says that, or this says that." Women were not educated, so they just went by whatever was told to them. Even if it was if it was something to keep them in their miseries.
When you say educated though, you have to make a distinction. Is it Western education?
Yeah, Western education, exactly.
Yeah, Western
education.
Yes, I don't know what you call that. Western.
Yeah, Western education.
Thing.
No, because they were educated culture.
Exactly. Yep, they were educated.
Well, that's what their culture, what the men said was. That was the culture. Yeah, the cultural education. Thank you. What the men said was good. That's what was, right? The women had no say. It was a man's word. So Western education now came along and started to open everybody's eyes. But with all that, people were still grounded in our, society. But the men then took it to another level, and some women took it to another level. Don't get me wrong. It's not just only men. And some women saw Western education as you're supposed to be disrespectful to your husband. You're supposed to measure, food with him like, oh, I'm the hair, or because you're helping out, because you're educated, and you say, oh, well, I don't need you. I don't need that, which is very wrong, right? Whether you're educated, you can have a PhD or whatever. Your husband, as long you marry him, he's your husband. He's treating you right. He's doing everything. That is your husband. He can have a high school diploma. You can have a PhD. You don't take that PhD and put it on your head and disrespect your husband. I'm not a fan of that. I'm an African woman. Don't get me wrong. I'm grounded in that. But then again, there are some women that also something that sitting there. And the man is just why you respecting them. You're doing everything out of your. Some people have this strong cultural belief in or spiritual something, believe that you're supposed to do all of these things and you're doing it right. But then this person, because they are still stuck, like you said, to in that mindset, they're doing all of the wrong thing because they think that, oh, man would be me. Oh, how that word puts me off in the area. That that thing that gives them that background to be promiscuous or to be disrespectful or to be to disregard their wife, their opinions and all of that.
Right.
And once a woman is educated and she's doing it, like me. I'm just let me say myself, right? I know with all my education and something, like I told you, I'm grounded in that my African belief. You can't take it away from me. And it doesn't matter what I've been through or whatever in my marriage. There's no way I'm going to say somebody is my husband and I disrespect you. No. But in the same token, I'm a woman. I'm a human being and I have feelings, right?
Right.
Of course I would be here. You think I'll be doing all of this? And then you constantly there disrespecting me, disregarding my opinion, my everything, stepping over me and not and cheating on me and lying to me and doing all of this thing. And you think that would stay solid? Even if it's not my, my intention to get out of there. It was be because of the way what I'm being fed, so to speak, right?
Right.
Is the reaction that would come out. Not planning it, not thinking. That's what people don't know about a lot of women, guys. Eric, since you asked the question, a lot of women, like me, I'll speak for myself. If something that happened, I'm not planning to do. It's just a human reaction, right? If you're not nurturing something, it will not blossom. You don't expect it
But
to.
which one do you prefer? I mean,
I already told you that I don't prefer being in the darkness. I prefer being in the light.
okay.
Now I prefer being in the darkness, like, and some of those things that you call successful or whatever, people stay in it and die.
All right. So
Okay.
that brings
All
me
right.
to
So,
wait 1 minute. This brings me to
Yeah,
my last
let me
question to you
let me
because
co- let
initially
me
I said I had to. Sorry, Morris.
let me
My
co-
apologies. My apologies. You can take the rest of my time if I will have. This brings me to my last concern. To you. Why is it that women with master's degree find it almost impossible to marry a male that or men that has that are high school dropout as compared to men with master's degree marrying women who have little or no education?
What if you come to the same old thing that men are providers, they are the leaders, they're supposed to be there, the head of the home, right? So if we measure all of those things to be something that you use to provide and do all of these things, now love don't ask for any of that. Once you love somebody, right, you love them. But in case someone is looking at that, I would be thinking that that's from the perspective there something. How can this guy provide? Can be a provider? How can he be a leader? You know what I mean? Like if he doesn't have, he's a high school dropout, and you as a woman, you have advanced yourself. That man can, like Agnes said, something that woman, he can invest into her. He can do all of those things. And a lot of women does it with I mean, do it with men too, right? A lot of women do it with men too. They don't mind when you love somebody. Love conquers all. But in the majority, I guess that's what you're speaking on, right? The majority of people don't look at that and say, okay, what am I doing with a high school dropout? How is he going to provide for our family? How is he going to lead our family? What is he going to tell my children about, education if he doesn't even have one or doesn't even believe in one or whatever? It just, that's for me. I don't know. That's what I think they would look. That's something they would look at it from. But if you talk to me personally, I would say when you love the person, it doesn't matter. Unless you don't have that much love for the person, that's when you look at all of the extra stuff.
Okay, so look, let me say this. Send Amy back, then Amy can take a role. But I feel like the reason why tension kind of like come into a relationship when someone, like when one partner like excelling in certain thing and the other one feel like they about to be placed in the back burner or something like that. It's lack of self-confidence, lack of having a very self-induced inferiority complex, a complex that is not even being sort of like subjected onto you. Just having that low kind of like self-defeative mindset. Because I always say this, it is hard to actually answer your last question, Eric.
Yeah.
For a woman with a master's degree to just get up and go marry somebody with absolute no,
drop out.
You know what I mean? It is absolutely hard. I mean, that woman will have to be the least most unattractive woman ever.
Come on, love can do that.
You know what I mean? To make that kind of decision, just go marry someone like wet. You know what I'm saying?
The white women can do that without blink. I'm sorry for putting race, but the white women can do that.
I tell you what, you are absolutely
No, I will respectfully disagree with you. What are you talking about?
No, that's not you. The white women can do that.
Right. Eric is right. I swear to God, when I was in college,
that must be the most ugly woman.
I had this Caucasian lady that used to do my taxes and stuff like that, and I got to know her through a friend who I played soccer on the same team, and the lady happens to be a member of their church, so he connected me. The woman used to do all their taxes in the community there, so that's how I got connected, my man.
Yeah.
When you go to the lady house, they live in a mansion, bro.
Yeah.
Right? They live in a mansion. Their woman is a certified accountant. But guess what her husband does? Her husband work on a golf course. He literally, he just makes sure.
Is he retired?
No, he's not retired. You know what I'm saying? When you go there, this guy, I mean, look, I hate to say this. You could definitely tell.
Yeah, you could tell the difference.
But again, it tells you how it don't matter how people should excel in life.
Yeah.
Because education is not for everybody.
No,
you know what I mean? Education is not for everybody. But a lot of time we see, especially in this America here, we see brothers marry some of our sisters, invest in them, send them to nursing school, do everything for them, work, break their back, send them to school. The moment that I can give you instances, especially in the Pennsylvania that I had, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that I know personally.
Yeah.
Put them into nursing school. The moment they get that document, guess what? They kick that guy out.
Yeah. And that happened flips too.
Well, but actually happen more. It actually happen.
No.
Look at the statistic, Amy. No. If
No.
we're not gonna do that.
You
If
ever
you
hear
look-
women saying, "I'm not doing no more better day ahead"?
If you look at the statistics, right? If you look at the statistics,
Don't do that to her.
that happens to men more often than it happens to women. I mean, let's try to keep it buck, right? But this is the thing, though. It always comes from this. If you're a brother, you have to, because women, let me tell you, man, study women. Women is, they should have it on men data course in college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you actually
Nobody
study
can
women,
do that.
their moves, their behaviors. I mean, when you study women, you have to understand they come as a wing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They will switch on you anytime, but it's all based on how you treat them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Women will respect you when you respect them. Women will care for you when you care for them, and it don't matter. So most often, I will always say, we are at fault most often. If you show women that you have low self-esteem, guess what? She's looking for the next guy with a high esteem. Women don't have time to babysit you if you want to make yourself a baby. You know, you have to make, just because she's excelling, that should not in any way build certain kind of level of inferiority complex in you, right? You have to almost like be like, okay, great, that's my girl, right? Always tell yourself that she will excel and do all of these things. But are you actually embracing that? Are you embracing your success? Are you not showing any level of feel like you feel intimidated now that you're about to lose her?
Yeah.
Because if they sense that, and they are very, very, very,
Yeah.
very sensitive in sensing these things. Are you going to be the man that have that confidence to see I'm not going to lose her? You know, and you do that by your approach. Like the guy said, even at some point in a video, stuff that you prior accepted, like words that you use, on you back then that you almost not have issue with it. When you start using some of those words, when you start using some of those words, you take offense to that. Why? You accepted them back then, but now every time you use those same words, those same phrases, it's almost like, why? Because you know what? You yourself, you put in your head now, because that education that I've gotten is not the preset of you losing her. Don't do that. Always maintain. Like I've always tell you, man, you saw that girl, you say you love that girl. You guys did it for all these years. She was nowhere. You literally, you guys grew up together. You think that girl would change all of a sudden?
Toure,
Can I come in? Can I come in for a minute?
Yeah, you are coming. Let me ask Toure. Let me do some. Toure, there's things sometimes. I understand what you're saying. I understand what that guy said in the video, but sometimes it does happen, right? And it's both. It does happen sometimes. Some women are just like, they take that education, once they gain it, they take it to another level. The disrespect. They try to load down on their husband. So even though that shouldn't be the yardstick of every man doing that before it happens, but it does happen a lot. Yeah, so I can understand why a man would be a little jittery for that happening, because it does happen. So let's just let Morris come in.
Amy, I totally agree. It happens, right? But it's almost like, I mean, it's because this is the thing. Let's look at cause and effects. There is nothing happening without a reason. Something almost always be the reason for certain thing happening. Someone not just woke up one day saying, I don't like the person no more. You know what I mean? And the reason a relationship lasts is because if you don't change from day one, how you started dealing with that person, the way you're able to get that person almost always continue to deal with that person just that way. Sometimes when people get in a relationship, they become complacent. Once they really mind a person, all the little things they used to do, all the little affections, all the little love, all the little sweet talk they used to do, they go away from these things. But you have to almost use this thing. That's why when I see some white people then from you see them, they carry that lip flower, then sometimes you see them buying that lip flower then. I mean, you know what? Because of the flower they've been using since they were 16, 17, 18 years old. And they're almost in their 70s, but they still carrying flower to their baby because that's the refer to them. Because at the end of the day, man, you cannot say because you get a woman now, they're not gonna push. I mean, we all here, we are all men here. If we pursue a woman, we do everything, bro. But soon as I get capitulated to some of our demands and all that stuff, then we become complacent, right? We just feel like, oh, we got her now. Nah, bro, you can never get a woman, bro. When you not continue to nurture that tree.
But Dure, you don't campaign after election.
You
don't campaign after election, Dure. Let's give Brother Morris a chance, Brother Dure. You don't campaign after election. I differ with you on that one. Let's give Brother Morris a chance. You don't campaign after election.
But man, if you don't campaign after election, guess what?
You will not get re-elected.
Then you'll be the CDC, my man, because you're not
you will not be re-elected.
In history, you don't use yesterday's standard to measure today's standard. It doesn't work because in history they call that anachronism. Because what happened yesterday, it was the best at the time. And what happened today, it is the best at this time. So in history, you don't compare the two standards, right? Like I said, it's anachronism. I had a historian call it. Look, and sometimes we create unnecessary doubt in our relationship, right? Somebody call you. Maybe your friend call you, you move from inside your wife, you go stay in the corner to talk. You're creating unnecessary doubt in the next partner mind. And sometimes, don't touch my phone. Sometimes just leave the phone. Probably the woman not even thinking about touching your phone. So we create this unnecessary doubt in our relationship. And sometimes we start something that we cannot end. Just to maintain the relationship, we start something at the end of the day, we can't end it. It becomes a problem for us. And the brother Alfred point something very important that I take to talk about protection in the home. Look, most women, they're looking at protection. When women get protected, they don't care about any other thing. They don't even care about love. When women feel that they are protected in the home, they say that my husband there for me. My husband can protect me. Or my boyfriend can protect me. They will not think about any other thing. They don't even care whether that husband can cheat out there or not. Look, I have a 20-year-old son and a 13-year-old girl. I always tell them, every time they ask me for something, I say, y'all go to your man. Y'all go ask your man. Making the woman to feel that the woman is in control. Yeah. I come from a very large family. My family, they know. They know that they don't take advantage over my wife. They know that. My friends know. And the woman know that she's protected in the home. So she feels so relaxed. She feels very, very relaxed because she knows that she is protected in the home. Because that's how I saw my parents. They will ask the father, go to your man. Go to your man. Even though the money coming from them, but they always make her to feel that the mothers are in charge. They're in control. So they always give that. Because you see, when the woman feel protected in the home, there's something else, but it just slipped my mind. I wanted to close it up, but it just slipped my mind. I was taking note, but I didn't pull it down. Like how the brother, when they feel so protected in the home, trust me, they will be relaxed. They don't care about any other thing. They say, you know what? When my husband mother take advantage of me, I know my husband will not even back my man. He will not back his own man. When they feel so protected in the home, trust me, they feel. And to end it up, look, women are designed in a way that they feel they should be cared for. Women are always like that. They feel that the men should be cared for. They should take care of them. So instead, only you will find most women looking down to pick up somebody from down there. But for the most part, they will not, because they feel that They are not created. They are not designed to
I
look
think the word
down.
you're looking for is confidence. When the woman feel protected, she have confidence.
Exactly. She have confidence in the home. Exactly. And, and just to end it up, brother, the women are not created. Women are feel that they are created. They are designed for people to take care of them, for men to care for them. So always like that. So that's why you see the women are up there that get PhD. They will not look down. They always look at their level because they feel that they are not the one to be taking care of people. People should be taking care of them. Unlike men, we feel that no, we are there to take care of. So men don't care. Men can go in the village and take somebody from the village and bring them. So with all the education he get, because the man feel that he should be the one to take care of. So it's just the reason why you see for the most part,
That's
men
what I
will not.
said.
Yeah, for the most part, that's all about it.
A dropout
Yeah,
will not
but
require for a PhD holder and all of that. But I mean, love once you love somebody, it conquers that, but it rare.
yeah, the point I want to also make in the whole marriage issue, I think people confuse commitment with love.
Right. Thank you. High five.
Commitment and love are not the same thing.
No, it's not.
And this is where most of the time you find people getting married, and then after a few days, you see they're getting out of it. When you get married, you are making a commitment. And I can tell you for sure, my brother, that commitment you're making, it has got nothing to do with you as an individual now. Because when you make the commitment to get married, you are telling God that the command you gave, that the man and the woman should be fruitful and they should have dominance. All that generation that's supposed to pass through that relationship or that marriage comes on your shoulder. Any decision you make will have impact on that generation that's supposed to come through that marriage line. So if you are not committed, it leads to a lot of things along the way. That's why you see people they can be married, they have children outside of their marriages.
Look at you.
That's why you see people are married. We go low, then the woman on the other side, the man on the other side, because they never live up to the commitment to that marriage. You are making a commitment that the woman I want to be with. You are making a commitment that the man I want to be with. When you break that commitment, it leads to all kinds of different things along the line. You cannot compare. You can't take love to be commitment. No, because love can come and go. The love can come and go. But when you are committed, it's something that you make a decision to. So most of the time, people confuse that, and at the end of the day, it leads to a lot of emotional distress. People are breaking up. Children get impacted by it, and all of that. So
But
I would say,
when you committed in your relationship, it's the same as the woman feel protected in the relationship. It's all about it. When you committed to that woman, you protect her.
yes,
You don't want that woman you don't want anybody to take advantage of that woman because
I
you
agree with
committed
you
to her.
100. I agree with you 100%.
No, but if you are also committed in a relationship, the commitment sort of like goes across everything now you need to do to protecting that marriage or that relationship, right?
Yeah, but the commitment is
Right.
demonstrated by your action.
Right. Your actions and inactions, right?
Yes, yes,
Your commitment is for you to be tolerant. Your
yes,
commitment is for you to be accepting.
yes.
Your commitment is for you to accept the fact that
You are wrong.
what we call differentiation.
Understanding.
Your commitment is understanding that stuff that you didn't know about that person when you put a boyfriend and girlfriend, things change when you actually get into that matrimonial confront, right?
Yes.
Where she will start to depict behaviors that you did not even thought existed. Because when people become comfortable, They become comfortable that they start showing things then that you never ever thought that they had it, right? So relationship will bring that. Marriage will bring that. When you marry somebody, right, the person becomes so comfortable now because the person just feel like they got you now in the eyes of God and in the eyes of every family member. So they will start showing you will start waking up now, because when you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend, every time she came to your place, she would dress up nice. So are you confident now that you will be waking up next to each other with a stink breath? You know
Wait a
what I'm
minute.
saying? Like,
What are you talking?
are
What are you talking to me?
you no, but you see, there's a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's it. Are you committed to
Are
accepting
you
that?
committed to that? Right? Because we all know
But
when you
Ture,
guys
you
are,
should experience that during girlfriend boyfriend period.
Yeah, what are you
nah,
talking about?
my man, your girlfriend not sleeping at your house on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? Like we you know what I mean? Like
For
that.
yourself,
No,
Ture. Speak for
no,
yourself.
no, Ture, we are African. Many of us had our girlfriend for like
Okay.
2-3 years before marriage, man.
All right, brother, wait now, brother. Even at that, right? Even
Ture,
at
this
that,
is not
right?
one
Even
size
Brother
fits all.
Peters will tell you
Wait now,
that. Brother
I will speak
Peters,
for
who married
myself.
young, he will tell you that. Yeah, wife now.
Okay,
Who they
wait.
live together for years before they got married.
Let me speak for myself.
Yes,
I will speak for
yes.
myself.
Yeah.
But it still does not negate the fact that when you gather your family, your relatives in a church or in a mosque, the whole community comes. That commitment is a total different commitment. And to go to your point, Eric, that you raised earlier, what sustained marriages back in the days and that are sort of like affecting our relationship nowadays is because this is the thing. It was an absolute divorce was not even a question.
Yeah, it was that.
Your commitment to your spouse was culturally, traditionally
Demanding.
binding upon you. Even you say that when your husband you go to your house, your parent will bring it back to that house. They will bring it back. You know what I'm saying, right? It was a taboo. So all of those things, that's why Chinua Achebe said, in things fall apart, the white man have brought whatever they brought, and they are putting knife into the things that held us together. Now we are falling apart. Western civilization,
You're always blaming the white man
you know what I
for
mean?
for
But it
people.
is true. Western
It is true.
civilization, you know, saying, oh, this is my right. Oh, you're not supposed to tell me this. You're not supposed to tell me that. You know what I mean? I wish you would. You know what I mean? You know, my mom, that was doing my mom in time, my grandma in time.
My man, there's
We
nothing
now,
a Western. There's nothing a Western civilization.
So
we
what
now.
I'm hearing, people who believe in
What do you mean?
that
There's not a Western
No, it
civilization.
is. It is.
It's
Brother
a
Morris,
modern.
it is.
It's
people
just a
who
modern. It's
believe
just a
in
modern
that way bad
civilization.
stuff, right?
Because
The
most of
brother
these
Western
things.
brought it. That the
Yeah,
Western
most of the
education
things-
brought it.
What do you mean there's not
Guys.
a Western civilization?
Guys, people who believe to you who believe in that way bad stuff, you know what I sometimes against something like to me? Selfishness. Because in that way back then there, only the men thought that it was perfect. Because it suit their whatever behavior that they had going on.
That was the main word. That was a patriarchal society.
That's what I'm saying. So now, when we're talking about education now, then we're blaming only the women.
No, but some of your argument is that our women the women at the time didn't have some level of education. That's what we are saying. No,
Everything
that society has
was that.
that society was divided. They had a men role. The men were playing their role, and the women were playing their role.
But look, though,
Correct.
Alfred, that was
Once they
even
know Western.
evident in America here. Women were housewives.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Even in America here, the civil right is the civil right that brought so many of these things. Women are not allowed to vote yet.
So what would you call that? A white man or green man?
No, what
would you call that?
It was a white man word.
What I'm saying is, Amy, these things were acceptable across the globe. All right? But there was a reformation that happened after probably I would say, World War I into World War II, right? When shortage of men started to happen in Europe because they killed a lot of their men during the Civil War, women now they started looking at women as a viable player in society. You know what I mean? Into economic growth and stuff like that. So they started giving them space into a dominant men's,
role.
or settings,
Well,
right?
women fought for
It,
the roles. They
it
didn't
did
just
not
give it to
happen.
them.
It did not happen because society woke up and said, you know what? Let's give right and freedom to women. It happened because there was an economic phenomenon, right? Because a lot of men died during World War I and II. You know what I'm saying? So women had to actually come and fill in some of the void and stuff like that. And women started doing it. They started
But
performing
women
at a
died
very
too.
high level. They
Women
started
died
saying,
too in
hold
World
on a
War
second.
II, and World War One.
What?
Women died in World War One and World War II too.
No, women die too, but not to the
Yeah.
skills as men.
Morris,
Men were most of the fighters.
women were not fighting on the front, bro.
Sri Lanka. I think Sri Lanka was the first country that had women during the Second World War. They had a lot of women in the front, in the battlefront.
So we are not disputing that. We are saying that on the overall.
No, but more men died.
Morris.
More men died. Nobody, come on, bro, slow
Brother,
down. No,
Sri
more men
Lanka
died.
was not a major player during World War I and II.
Sri Lanka,
I
yeah, Sri
agree.
Lanka, that was
I
not.
agree.
No,
I'm not
those are
saying that
players.
more
We-
men die. I'm not
We
making the
talking
argument
about
that
we talking about Russia, where almost estimated 100 million men died. Like,
I'm not making a compare. I'm not making a comparison, boss man.
But that's what I'm saying. When we talk about women dying in war, those women that died during war, it was probably collateral damage. It was not because they were actually on the front line fighting. Nah, that was it was not like they were on the front line fighting.
In fact, the modus operandi of fight in those times was not compared to now, where you have women on the front line. That was also men.
When I said no Western, Western, I don't know how you call it, Western culture, right? What I was trying to say,
Western civilization.
Exactly, Western civilization. What I was pointing, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is that is the modernized civilization, because most of the civilization was taken from Africa. They brought it and modernized it. Most of the things today, they claim to be, it came from Africa. They came to modernize it. You know what I mean, right?
Everybody knows that.
Why I said Western.
It's not something that the white people created. They just modernize it.
Western civilization. I totally get it. Civilization can give birth to Africa.
You understand the point I'm making? I'm not saying that the Western does not exist at all.
Yeah,
that's not my point.
But if
I know you are not,
look,
because before somebody wrong with it, say, oh, the men say there's no Western.
No, but I'm saying, Morris, if you look at the things that really open out like our eyes, right?
Right.
Especially when internet became, I mean, we're not even talking about internet. Let's talk about television. When television became, or when doing the proliferation of television and stuff like that, people started to see, right? Even relationship, how people, romantic relationship, how people show compassion and stuff like that. I mean, how many of us can really, but again, let me talk for myself. But I never saw, I never saw my mom or my dad show any level of public affection. No, I did not see it. I did not see it. You know what I'm saying? And that probably was different in other homes. So I'm just going to speak for myself. But when TV started to come about, when people started to see these things happening, people started to say, oh, this is how it's done, right? And that in itself started to actually infiltrate in some of life experiences that were obviously taboo in our settings, right? Showing affection, those are some, even back in the days when we were
but our Indian movie, my man, they were Indian movie way back in the 70s, 60s. They were Indian,
right? I remember, right?
They were Indian movies.
When
in the 70s, 60s.
Everybody started telling their feeling.
Oh yeah, y'all need a living room. I'm gonna go to bed. Billy, they show it.
You know what I mean, right? So things really happen, and then when the internet happened, now it's like people started having access to pornography and all of that stuff.
Look,
like it just blew everything open up.
But you have to understand too, right? And something I did not point out to, right? The reason to this is that we have changed, we have transitions in many ways, and sometimes some of the laws have effect into these things. Like first, right, 25, 30 years ago, you can beat your child, but today there's a law in many countries that you can't even touch your child. So sometimes some of the restrictions, some of the changes are based on the transition. We have transitions in many ways, right? even in our own culture, in our own African countries, there are laws. There are certain laws that that prohibit you from doing certain things. So you don't expect the way our women behave today to that of yesterday. Yesterday there were not many laws. Yesterday, the children were trained by the community. Anybody could beat your child and train a child, but today you can't do it. If you touch the child, there's a law in your own child. When you beat your child, there's a law that prohibits you from that. Your own wife. There's a law that says you can rape your wife. The woman can carry your complaints and rape your wife. Those days, 50, 60, 70 years ago, where you go stand and say, my
Is that
husband
law
raped me.
in Africa today?
So you see, so there
Oh,
are all
yeah.
the laws. So sometimes you have
In
to consider
Africa?
this.
In Liberia,
Yeah, there are laws. Yeah.
specifically,
So you have to consider the laws
That
too that have effect
wife
into
can
these
still
changes.
husband
So
rape
that's what
her?
I say to
Oh, yeah.
compare
No,
yesterday's standard to today's
why
standard.
you are saying is if
Mhm.
you are married back in the days, you can't go to court and say your husband raped you.
Yeah,
They will tell him go home.
they will say you go
You
home.
But,
do that
You can't.
now.
but today you can't do
You
it.
you
Today
can't do it.
you can go to
Exactly.
the court and say your husband raped you, they will go for him.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
child can go complain. Your child can go complain to the same my father abusing me, beating me every day. For instance, you can do it. So those laws that happen today, they have changed so many things. You know what I mean, right? So we have to consider. That's what I say. Yesterday's standard, you cannot use yesterday's standard to today's standard because the laws of yesterday, it is not the same law as of today. You get the point I'm making, right? Exactly.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
understand what
Mhm.
you're saying. Yesterday's reality certainly is not today's reality.
Exactly.
We live in a total different space
Total
now.
different.
But
Laws are changed.
I would say I would rather live in yesterday as far as, you know what I mean, like how how relationship
There are
went,
certain things in yesterday I
how
Then
would
you will not
how
be on Facebook.
relationship
Then you will
how
not be on
relationship
Facebook.
I would
huh?
never
Then you
pick certain things.
then you
I
will
would
not be
choose
on
certain
Facebook.
things for yesterday, but
No,
not
no, I'm
everything
saying
today.
how relationship was sustained, during those days that
Nah, I
really
pick that
lay
either.
foundation to how some of us came out the way we came out. I'm not gonna say like if I and this is what I always tell people, even with my kids now, right? I can't I seen kids that I'm saying it
Yeah,
that
two so though.
but even with my daughter now, right? Like sometimes I'll be like, damn, like some of the things they can get away with, you know.
Any child can tell you, say my teachers I should go to bed 9 o'clock.
If I would have just look in my dad's eyes. Matter of fact, my
Exactly.
dad
So you
used to
see?
my dad used to expect me in advance. My
Yep.
my dad used to literally beat me up for
Yep.
something that I have not done yet, but he kind of
Yep.
anticipated I was
Exactly.
going to do it.
That is abuse.
Advanced beating.
That is abuse. That's
I
just
used,
abuse.
I mean,
I'm right. I used to get beat. I used to get whipped in
You in there, you
anticipation.
like oh story, my man. You all
I'm
about do that thing.
I have my last concern because I have to wake up
Yeah,
at early at
let's
4 for
go.
Well,
work.
Yeah,
let me
let's
I
just
don't
make
know
it.
when the
Let me
show will
just make a
end. Can
point
I have
quick,
my last
brother Eric.
concern to
Eric,
to
let me just make a
to
point quick
Brother
before you
Peters
come in.
and Mr. Konowa? I beg you. I have my last concern to the both of them before I go to bed because I
Okay.
gotta
but
wake up for.
but it's not one of those three people marry. I mean, those two people marry. Marry that marry men too.
No,
Go
well,
ahead.
you have just said that to me. Murray hasn't. And the reason I'm bringing it in because I know of Brother Peters who is away from home, and I think Mr. Cornwell also talked about he's also away from home. I still need to be corrected on that. I mean, can I ask my question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. My question is premised on the genesis of our conversation. Before Mr. Ture came and Brother Kasama came. My question is, you here in the West, I'm also in the West. And there's a true story that I'm giving, not based on my personal experience, but based on the experience that happened, and a friend of mine shared with me. He's been here for the last 3 years. According to him, he's been very faithful, not cheating, not doing anything, and been supporting his partner back home, financial support and all of the supports that needed.
I don't like that question. Like, I mean,
I
Like
know,
Let
what,
me
man?
ask a question. Go ahead.
I know, but then
I'm not brain man.
no, I'll leave that I'll leave that for the sanity of the conversation. And then his partner said, his partner back home confided in him that she cheated.
Damn.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she cheated. Yeah, after because obviously you will experience some glitches along the way that will
Were
suggest
they
that your
married?
partner.
Were they married?
Yeah, they're
No,
married. They're
they're
not.
not married. They're not
They were
married.
not married.
But yeah, but they were living together. Why is he was in the country,
From
and they were doing everything. Yeah,
yeah.
and then when he came, his whole mind was supporting and trying to get his partner. And then at a later stage, when he started experiencing some, the time he calls, the phone rings, no answer, and then when he began to press, she confided that actually I cheated. My question and I want Brother Peters to start with that. Um, in that situation, do you forgive or do you continue that relationship with the trauma associated with it?
Okay, thank you so much. I'll be honest here. Honest with you. If I was in that case, I won't continue that relationship. Once I'm
Why?
not married,
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not a marriage.
that's
Okay.
boyfriend and girlfriend. I won't continue that relationship. Because this is it. The moment as a female, when a woman cheat, she will continue it. This is her brain, her mentality. I mean, when I come back to me again, I already made a mistake. So even if you try to forgive and say, you know what, people make mistake. You bring her here, she will do worse. So the thing is, once that's not marriage, that boyfriend and girlfriend, I'll tell you the truth. Let you find someone where you're married and just marry them yet. But if you make mistake to say you want to continue, oh, I will forgive you, you're really supporting her with a boyfriend. If possible, she will be pregnant.
Well, why she's
and
not
you support
here?
everything.
Yeah.
Because if she can look at this amount of support that man was giving her, and she decided to plan everything, only because she want to satisfy her sexual desire, she's not a woman. Because what women are looking for is they're looking for men that will show them that true love, or men who will pay attention to them. Women love attention. A woman, men who will pay attention, get everything. You're getting the support, you're getting attention, you're getting everything. Why can't you be patient and wait for that man? But you go cheat, if that me, and brother, if I'll pay you around, I will stop paying you, I'll tell you to continue, go. When your rent and find the person that was continue your rent, but we're not get it again. For my case, we're done. That's my answer.
Thank you.
Mr.
Brother
Cole.
Juan,
Well, sometimes, I've been married now for over 10 years. All right. And my wife and myself were together 2 years prior before we get married. Okay. And sometimes you have to take your hair out of the box. Because when you do your hair in the box, you'll continue to conform yourself with the reality of what has been going on in our box. By the time you come out of the box, you get to know that the war is bigger. The war is bigger than the box your hair is in. So this is what I would say. First and foremost, if you and a person, you who are not married, your own boyfriend and girlfriend, even we can call it quote unquote serious relationship that we can call in our brain parlance, or they get at my girl, we in serious relationship, all the family knows. Taking it from that point, right? Because that way it starts from. She doesn't have any kind of strong obligation to you. Okay? She does not have any kind of strong obligation to you that if she feel emotional about maybe having another person that will satisfy that emotional desire for her, she's not ready have any obligation
I
to
disagree
you.
with that.
However, the issue of having, let's say the issue of going to cheat is a singular decision
Mm-hmm.
that someone can make by themselves. All right. So even if you're living with a person, you're not, your boyfriend and girlfriend, like I say again, you wait on the other side, she on her side by herself. The fact that you people have not made a commitment to say, oh yeah, for better or for worse, don't take it for now. Because all the family come together, you'll make the big pronouncement that everybody in the community knows that you are obligated to someone. Once you have not done that, that person, you don't have obligation to that person. Now, the fact that the person was able to come to tell you about their secret closet. What happened in the secret closet? They come and tell you, and they tell you honestly. I think there should be some gray yard or gray zone for forgiveness. Because if she didn't love you or she didn't care about how you feel, she wouldn't have told you, and you wouldn't have known, right? But the fact that she told you, it means that she sees some level of, I would say, strength,
Potential, like a potential.
potential that they made a forgiving person, and I believe they may be able to take my mistakes. He's able to consider my mistakes, because that issue you call mistake, it's not really in for a lack of better word, it's not really a mistake, because mistake is something that you don't know and you do.
Yeah.
Right? But any decision that you make, someone talking about relationship where you go have sex with somebody else outside of that relationship that you are in, it is not really a mistake. It's not even the devil. It's a decision that you made.
Now why your meaning is there?
Because the devil has nothing to do with that decision.
Oh, blaming the devil.
It's you that decided to say, I will do this, and you went ahead and do it.
The devil.
So the devil think it's confused.
So let me come in on that, right? As a
now,
woman.
so let me tell you, answer the brother question over there. This thing is two-way. The woman have no obligation to you. You gotta understand that, because you're not married to her. She's not married to you. But even if you were married, if the two of you were married and that happens, consider the distance. Because we are human beings, we are imperfect.
All right, I think he got your message. Let me come in with this, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't conclude.
He did.
I mean,
I very want you to conclude.
I mean, you talk for long. How long you take to conclude, man?
No, I beg you, let you
conclude. To conclude to my brother Eric can have a peace of mind. If I were in that situation, I will forgive the girl and I'll give her a chance. That's what I would do.
So,
but not everybody like me will do that. Like my brother on the show saying he will just call out the relationship one time. Right? Yeah. But if I were in that situation, brother Eric, what I would do is the fact that she told me, I will forgive her and give her another chance.
Okay, so I will start from that.
No,
right?
but I mean, you said why I have to relay, my friend. It is this what I'm saying.
Not you. I first said like Alice said, you will not forget the person you were just only.
Okay. So what I wanted to slide in was this is a potential situation that could happen to any of us that are outside of Liberia. So that's why when I heard that, I thought to bring it to my brothers for attention. But go ahead.
Right? From what Afra said that the girl, you said this person and this person has a serious relationship, right? And he's supporting this person since he got here, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has been faithful to her. He never cheated. He never looked at any other woman here.
That is true. Just take me as person.
As what he's telling us, right?
Yeah.
That was true, right? After I wouldn't say they don't have any. She doesn't have any obligation to him. I wouldn't say that because this brother came over here. They had a relationship before the brother came over here, and when he came, he never forgot about her. They don't have any obligation, but he's supporting her. He's doing he meeting her needs, her upkeeps, and everything. How do you get obligated to somebody? How do you get into marriage with somebody? You start from those points, right? So if the person is doing that and you say I don't have any obligation to that, what do you want to do before you feel like you are obligated to be married to them.
I mean, in the face of the law.
A question for you to answer.
Okay.
So yeah, so that is a sign of somebody looking at you as a potential wife. He's doing that and to send for her a later on, or to go there and marry her and get her over here. You can't. Guy can be doing that and he doing all of that. She might have private thing that because you know the thing that men will be men. Men can do that. Men can stay down by themselves. Men, which is not true. Really got men with integrity. Men who, when they really care, truly care about somebody and something, they can do that.
Like me, yeah.
The promiscuous one will always miss that excuse it like they are different from the ones who do it. Right? So she might probably have it in her head that he probably doing something over here. So why am I keeping myself too? You know what I'm saying? That could be another something too. But it depends on when she told him. What was her action after that? Is she telling him and saying, "Oh, I did not mean to do that. It was a mistake," or something? Or she just told him out of, "Oh, I'm seeing somebody here now," or something? The situation has to, appear like she doesn't care about the relationship, right? Forgiveness is good because as a man, if he did it, he would want her to forgive him, right? So you can, for some reason, men think that women can take it. They don't have hearts. They can think about, me, man, no, that's it. No, you can't be like that. That's selfish. That's inconsiderate and everything, which I know some men are, right? But if she said it with a disregard to not, rather something like you said, he had to push before he get that out of her, right? Before he got that out of her. She didn't get to it and say, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And came to him and said, "I have to tell you something. I really messed up." That's a different situation right there. She's remorseful. That's something she did out of her conscience that, and she's really she feeling bad about it. So those are there's something you have to look at in order to let go or continue with that relationship. I would not just blame the sin, let it go. Or she doesn't have any obligation to she does. If you are supporting and pulling into her, she should also be pulling into you. Why? Emotionally, and with all of that, because that's a sign of you trying to get connected with somebody at a higher level. He will not be doing all of that, Alfred, if he didn't want anything above that, what they have right now.
Okay, so
I agree with you. I agree with you, sis. I agree with you that in the face of the law, in the face of the law, the law may not be looking at whether or not that relationship. The law will be looking at the first question. The law will be looking at whether they are married, because they'll be looking at evidence.
Well, they're not going to court, obviously. So we're not talking about the law here.
But look, though, let me say this, right?
If
you're in a relationship with a girl, and a lot of time it's always a problem, to be quite honest. Even guys that are married and leave their wives back home, travel this way, or even in a relationship, it's even tougher when you have already married and for some reason you travel over and leave your significant other back there. But you have to understand, man. Look, nature is undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have a partner that is sexually, active and sexually driven, it is almost impossible. And that's why it is said that, if you actually leave your woman like that, your wife, for a prolonged period of time, it's almost sinful on your part, because you're not supposed to leave a woman like that for that long period of time. Like sometimes you'll see some brothers and they will travel here, they leave that woman for 5, 6 years. Brother, whatever that woman does, right? It is.
It shouldn't matter, right?
Right. I mean, no. It's not that it shouldn't matter though, but you yourself, you have to put yourself in that person's position. And everybody not the same. Some women are very, very strong. Some women are very, very committed. They will do everything, but not everybody like that. We are all created, but we are not equal.
But
right? And to your point, Alfred, the fact that that person came up to you and told you that, look, man, I cheated on you, there is some level of remorse and regret there.
Yes.
Right? Other than that, and the person also see you as a potential partner. Maybe they did it and they're like, you know what? I think let me tell this guy. Other than that, every other person, I know a lot of people they married to women that are giving it out in these streets. And they're not telling them. They're not telling their partners though.
Yeah, as if that you're in United Nations.
You know what I'm saying, right? But the fact that the person is coming to tell you, that is
no,
amazing.
It depends though. How she told
him. Let me say this. Maybe they didn't get Eric. You have to pressurize
her. He has to pressure her. That's what he said.
Confessed.
That's what I said. It depends how she said
So
it.
It was not a natural confession.
No.
It was
if that's but then I didn't get
that's
it.
What I said.
It was now a natural.
He had to pressure her before she said it. It's not something that she did. She said, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And no, babe, I gotta tell you something. I really
if that is the case, then I mean she had an interior motive.
Yeah, because
just go on. Just carry on, forget it.
I know.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
John, you're not helping in this situation here, John.
Yeah, man, I'll be honest. The man pressurized her before she came out.
No, I didn't get that part. I
missed that part. I missed that part. But
I said it. I don't know
in this process, let me share the story. Let me share a short story in my conclusion.
Yeah,
one of my big brothers.
That would be part of your closing now.
Yes, one of my big brothers. He had his serious girlfriend in Liberia, supporting her good to the point he left her because they play DV. He left her there, and he decided he played the DV he won, and he have to come. And he tried to do everything. He's supporting everything, paying the rent. Guess what? That woman moved in the house with another guy. People were telling my people, I said, no, I can't believe it. I'm not the kind of man who can believe that kind of thing. He used to call her. He didn't say nothing. To the point people were, she got pregnant. She got pregnant. But I mean,
the blood of Jesus.
When the man went Liberia, from all its news in the senior, people told him he went on news. So she was coming outside with her belly. But he think you say you're not doing something down there. And
see what I said?
And I ought to keep myself a long time. Just
once you get pregnant, though?
Yes. When a woman is sorry to say useless, she's useless. You don't need to stay with her.
When a man useless too, he's useless.
Yes.
It's both ways.
It's both ways. You don't need to stay with him. But yes, though. The man try his best, like what this guy said.
Yeah.
The man just spent 3 years. Like for me, I spent 4 years without going to my wife. We're girlfriend and boyfriend. 4 years. We're in consistent communication. Consistent. And the good thing that we did, like I said, we started with day prayer. Sometimes my wife would call me, she will go to church, she will do this, and we pray about it.
That's important.
But before the marriage, we went for counseling. All my fault. People are, I was kind of picking, I will tell you, man.
But my man, you just like I know you say not the kind of man that anybody say can actually move on you like that anyway.
She's trying to say that you're a ratting ball.
I mean to say he seems to be a very solid guy. He almost before he get committed to something, he have done all of the
about everything, all kind of thing about. So nothing. One thing I always build or read something in my mind is I always get room for disappointment. That's always in my mind. So
you see that grand man can be talking to you like you get room for disappointment.
Breaking heart can happen. It can't carry me nowhere.
Oh, true.
It will be me. Go.
But that room for disappointment, the room for disappointment is very wild.
Go do this. No. See, man, I can do another room for women, people before I got married. The girl that I was planning to get married to before I met my wife, that girl, people, I rented a room for that girl. I was in Stars Cottage. She wanted to live with me. I said, no, I'm ready for a woman to live with me yet. But I will find your place.
A lot of
I'll
distractions.
pass over to you. And you know what I mean? People, that was my entire heartbreak I ever been seeing.
Oh,
I met a guy in the room having an affair with a girl.
Jesus is love.
My own room I was paying money for.
I'm not gonna hear about this.
It's your whole outlook on life.
I must hear about this.
This is there.
That was horrible. Oh my God.
Everything for somebody.
I cried bitterly.
That's
But
traumatizing.
then when I went back to where the pastor says, before you get married or when you get somebody, put their name into your prayer point.
Pray about it and see what God tells
Pray
you.
about it.
Man, you
Pray about it.
be different, man. All right,
God just gave my own word.
That's when they're not praying, you different, man.
What you say?
all right, Murray, let Murray do a closing because the whole
You're
Murray
not praying.
Yeah, I want to go, man. Yeah, I actually 1 o'clock, man. Ooh. Yeah, but look, 90% of the studies that was done, why men cheat, why women cheat. The first thing, nobody's supposed to cheat. To begin with, nobody's supposed to cheat. But women don't cheat by mistake. When women cheat, they carry emotion. They get some kind of likeness for. They carry some kind of likeness for that person they cheat with. Men can go and have an affair. They don't even care. They come back. They still love their.
I don't ask women like girl know for sure, but go ahead.
They still love their wife 100%. But unlike women, when they cheat,
That's not true.
it take away some love for their partner. You know, yes. But you see, like I said, it goes back to the question. It goes back to the questions.
That's not all women. That's not all men. That's not true.
Women. for the most part, go and read about it. When women cheat with somebody, they will get some kind of likeness for that person. That's just it. Unlike men, you know. So that's why they don't cheat by mistake. Women don't cheat by mistake.
Cold-blooded.
You
Exactly.
got women out here that cheat that was something until you said you know what? Let's just go ahead. That's just
Exactly.
you already have that playing in your head that.
Exactly. So you see,
but that's not true. Just to say that.
Look, even on the average, there are most of the men that come here, they still get a wife, girlfriends back home. They pay rent for them. They take care of them. How many women can come overseas and work and pay rent for a strong guy back home or whatever? It doesn't. I mean, it's very seldom. But just to go back, just to close, right? Go back to just to go back to the topic, right? To our first look. Today, you say you want to go to yesterday, right? Yesterday, because yesterday was the best. Where the laws of yesterday and today are different, right? 100 years ago, in the state of Delaware here, a 10-year-old girl could marry. Can that happen today? Whatever, why they do it at the time, why it was legal for 10-year-old child to marry at the time, only they know.
No,
but probably was.
No. I think you are.
Mama, let me close, man. Let me close back. Mama, let me close back.
No,
let me close.
No, let me close your account when you do
let me close. When you're closing, you do your rebuttal. Let me close.
No, maybe somebody listening before my time to close that person and close the app. So we need to get it right yet.
Okay, what do you want to get right?
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
So what you want to get right?
Yeah. No, my thing is they already talking about or 10-year-old. It was acceptable back then. That's not the conversation we're having though. That's not what we're saying. When we talk about like yesterday's reality, some of yesterday's reality can be imported into today's reality, and people that have done that have worked for them. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
not everything though. Some of them.
No, let them do your rebuttal so I can just close in 10 seconds.
Right, like for me, I'm an old soul. Right,
me too.
I still go by the old style code.
All right, man. Let me do my closing. Don't tell my time. So you see, so right now in this day and age today, we live in a control world. The system controls our life, our daily life. Our kids today, yesterday we could train them, discipline it the way we want. Today it cannot happen. We can't discipline our own children. The society control us how to live our life. So yesterday life is different from today. So relationship today, you only have to strategize to say, look, like I said, if the women in the home feel protected, if the children feel protected, you can have a healthy relationship. You can have a healthy home where the women feel that, you know what, I trust my husband. Do whatever you want to do, but when my husband comes and hear about this, he will stand for me. He will protect me.
Mhm.
Forget about love. And this is what most women don't know. And this is what most women search for in relationship. Am I protected in this home? That's what they really look for. If they
I'm
get it,
all for
trust me.
commitment and protection.
Exactly. If they get it, it covers everything. I give it back to you to Ray.
Okay, let me say we're gonna stay at the bottom. Let me just do my close at the back here. So at the end of the day, there's what we're talking about. In relationship, number one, protection is key, but the biggest of it is security.
Well,
Once
that's good. The
once
woman
once you
gets secure when she has
right,
all of these things. Yeah.
once
But
you
the
show
protection
the
right there. What are you trying to modify the whole
once
team, man?
no man, no. Protection, you literally protecting her, you know what I mean? Her
You're giving her security.
right, you but it's more than that.
All right, go ahead.
It's almost like you giving her financial security, you giving her I mean, obviously when we talk about protection, it's almost like you preventing
In every
harming
aspect.
her and something like that, right? That's what we're talking about. But when we talk about security obviously like supersedes all of these things. Financial security, right? We're talking about morally, ethically, religiously, like all of these things. Are you building her that home where you will actually have all of these things in? Once a woman feel that, right, that her man is always gonna come home, he's always gonna be available, he's always gonna cater to all her needs, right? She don't have to go out there like doing it like the way pool called it 50-50, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we all know we live in America, people have to work, obviously. People have to work to help, right? But I think a lot of time when people kind of like when women feel like you're really looking for it from them, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it'd be like, then it start to question.
So you're asking if they ask for 50-50 on their
No.
responsibility.
I'm talking about men demanding like 50.
That's what I'm saying. They ask for 50-50 on their responsibility, but let the woman with her own 100%. Why she helping 50-50?
So let always know that, at least from my religious teaching, you know what I mean? Like I said, let me speak on myself. I'm supposed to provide everything for that lady. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to provide everything for her. Anything she help with, it is absolutely at her discretion. You know what I mean? That's my religion. That's what my religion is telling me.
That's what every religion says.
Whatever she works for is for her.
It's for her.
If she bring it to help the house with it, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, right? But it's not banding on her that this is what I expect from you every month. That you need to give, that you need to give, that you need to give that. Because this is the thing. When that become a case now, right? Then you are giving away some of your leverage.
Your respect.
You know what I mean?
You take that to be, yeah.
It's like people that demand that their 16, 17, 18-year-old contribute to their building a house. I mean, I'm sorry.
You think they can show a house party?
When it gets to that point, guess what, Alfred? I mean, bro, what do you have now? If your 17, 18-year-old is contributing to, you know what I mean, to pay your water bill and electrical bill, I mean, that you have the right to throw any house party in the house. You know what I'm saying? So
he has the right to come on anytime.
Exactly. So these are some of the things that we need to really look at, make some assessment on. How can we maintain a home that is sustainable, a home that is welcoming, a home that as soon as you put a key in the door, your wife says, "Daddy is home." You know what I'm saying? Isn't that something that is so? I mean, like every man should want that, right? As soon as they say, Daddy is who made all the children coming, right? But do we have that these days? Because the women are out there hustling and bustling. You know what I'm saying? You out there doing your thing. So that whole sense of, structure, that whole sense of who's supposed to do what, that whole sense of I'm the leader, I'm supposed to lead, goes away now because you have sort of like gave now some of your responsibility, and the power now to actually assert onto doing certain things goes away because of that. Thank you.
Alfred, do your closing, please.
Well, based on the topic tonight, I want to say thank you again, Amy, for allowing me to appear tonight. It has been a while. Since there has been a lot of things happening behind the scene. Like my boss said, Henry Pedro, making talk all.
No, I said transitioning is tough. So
yeah, so making talk about given the conversation we've had tonight. This is what I would say. Having considered the fact that I've been married and I have an experience in this business, marriage institution is a different institution. When you are transitioning to that institution, there are already established way of life in that institution that you have to conform to if you want to be in that institution. You have to be a man, a leader. You have to be a father. There's a difference between a father and a man.
Oh yeah, and a leader.
All right. So when you get in an institution, you are no more a man. You are a father. That's why in the Bible, God said the man will leave his wife, his father and a mother.
And
the time the man was man, he had a father that was taking care of him. Now when he leaves that father and his mother, he goes now, he's going to cleave onto his wife, and he will assume a new responsibility.
Yeah.
Which is the father's role. So if you want to be a father, there are a lot of checkpoints or boxes that you need to click and make sure that you are correct in it before assuming that role. And this is why most of our men today, most of them, they are not willing.
It's their boys.
They are not willing to conform themselves with those established rules that are already being laid down in a marriage institution. That call for respect. The whole thing, the men say men are respect. Look, the first person that is supposed to establish respect is the man in the home before the woman follow. Because if you are a man that you want to get respect is reciprocal. It's not one way. When I joined the military, the first discipline is salute. That's the first discipline. When I joined the military, the first thing they teach you to salute. That salute is a courtesy that you have to give to a higher command above you, right? But guess what? That higher command also under obligation to give you that salute back. So when you salute, your commander got to salute back. It's a two-way street. You understand? So the same respect you give you that commander is also under obligation to give that same respect back to you.
Yeah.
You see it? So that's the same thing in the marriage institution. You as a man in the home, you are the one that's supposed to establish all. In fact, you are the one that's supposed to make sure all those different established rules,
right?
All those different established rules that I talked about, Brother Eric. You are the one that's supposed to initiate it, not the woman. Not the woman. The woman will just follow you. That's why in the video, the brother said you have to be anything that you want to see happen in the home, you got to model it.
Yeah.
You want your children to be sleeping. You want your children to be sleeping by 9 o'clock. You want your children to be sleeping by 9 o'clock. Make sure you are home by 6. So you can make them to do the shower. Those are supposed to study. If you didn't study, 9 o'clock they're in bed. You yourself, you in bed by 9. The later it's 10 o'clock, you should be sleeping.
No, that careful you.
Okay. Those are the different. I mean, let's be honest. Those are the things that you want to establish.
I mean, I've read that the thing my daughter going through right now. Every time I tell her to go to bed, she'll tell daddy go to bed too.
So you see, those are the things that you need to establish. If you can't establish those things, that's a problem. If you are a man, you are not honest to your wife, that's a problem. You have to be honest. If you are not committed to a relationship, how you expect another person to be committed?
The devil and angel can stay together.
It's difficult. It's hard. You can't do that. If you want to be committed to a relationship, you got to be honest. You have to have good communication. Even if you're angry, then your communication be genuine.
Absolutely.
You
Emotional.
want to be in a relationship, don't always look at your friend's fault. Their past fault. You want to, every time something happens, you bring out something by again. You are a foreshadow of man. You just there bringing old things, opening old wounds. Something happened in the past, you're there with it. When you want happy, you bring out something again. As a man, you can't be like that. You can't be like that. Something that happened in the past, what we mean happy in the past, we mean in the past. Don't always be the one to be bringing old things out. When you do that, you don't want to have a healthy relationship.
Thank you.
You have to be a protector. That way, one feel confident that even when you're not around, she know that you are there.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Eric.
Last but not least.
No, I'm not.
I mean,
Everybody,
for me, I'll wait my time to Brother Peters. You can add it on his term. I think he didn't really speak much. I noticed he has a lot to talk, but apparently he was on his computer. Yeah, so I gave Brother Peters. I gave my brother my time. I gave my brother my time. Yeah, but I just want to know from my host, are you Ami or Amy? So that I don't get your name wrongly.
I'm Amy.
pronounced.
Amy.
Amy? Okay, Amy. All right. Okay. All right. So, brother Peters, you have my time, my brother.
Thank you, my brother.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Is that Amy?
Amy.
Yeah. Okay, Amy. Yeah, I got it. All right, brother Peter, you have my time.
Thank you so much for getting me the time.
Yeah. I don't own your time and talk
No,
about
you already spoke. Only your time gonna. You already spoke. Gotta go.
There you go. That is my time coming take.
You gotta tell us again.
You see my own. They get me second. They get you second.
Just to be honest, it's a finish closing.
Yeah,
just to be honest, it's a finish closing. You were just talking about honesty. Yeah.
No, honestly, marriage, not honestly on the line.
Everybody get lot to say. You can't say
But no, my advice to people that want to get into marriage, please, marriage is not for kids. Marriage for people that are ready. You gotta be ready before you marry. If you know you're not ready, marriage is not competition.
Thank you.
Marriage is not a competition to say, oh, since my friend have getting married, I think I'm getting old and married too. No. You gotta pray. You gotta seek God's presence. You gotta know that what you're about to get in is about rock and roll. In marriage, if you see people say, I've been in the marriage for 10 years, their brother Alfred, that 10 years is not just everything was okay.
No, absolutely not. I'll be the first person to put my hand up.
That 10 years, there was rock and roll.
I've been married for 20 years.
Some people say they've been married for 20 years.
Alfred gotta tell me.
30 years.
A lot of years. Alfred.
Yes. So if you see people getting married, if they're giving a testimony, don't think that everything was bread and butter.
Oh, God.
With Ina, there were a lot, to the point where even some people, they were sleeping in different room and other person in different room. I will tell you the truth.
For an air mattress.
When you want your marriage to go to the perfect way, that God put God into it. That's the only thing I can tell you. Put God into your marriage.
Very important.
If you don't put God into your marriage, every day you'll be separated. God is the only person that controls the marriage. That's why you say you leave your mother and your father's house.
So what pastor then can divorce? What pastor then relationship can be chakla? It's in Ghana, India.
Wait, I come to thank you.
I mean, I'm not opening another Pandora box. I will
Man,
worry.
lead that team, man. Go business, put go inside, put go
No.
inside. Yeah, lead that team,
Let me
man.
tell you something. Let me tell you something, big brother Morris. Pastors that divorce, that's why you see, I wanted to make a point. It's not
Pastors
anyone
are
that can
men,
marry
they are
you.
not God.
I mean, pieces. It's not anyone that can lay your hands to marry you. Don't just allow any pastor to marry you, because if you know that pastor that marry you, any curse that over that pastor is following you.
Who told you that?
Yes, they follow you. You can go, a pastor would have divorced 3 times, 5 times, and he expect that man to go marry you. So what kind of education you getting?
You're absolutely right with that.
That
Peter.
makes sense.
What kind of education you getting? Yeah? What kind of counseling you going to get you?
Or
Or maybe
Peter,
I will go 5 times? No.
or
But
Peter's,
Peter's crimes are not transferable. Sin as sin.
No.
but Peter's, I'll even go on the limb of
For
saying,
about
right?
generational yoke.
Peter's, I'll go on the limb of
Can be
saying,
transferable.
But you're not in our pastor generation.
no, but wait, Eric, why go seek marital advice from someone
Right.
that have divorced three different times?
Right.
They say
Because he's your
they
pastor.
can say the person get experience.
Because he's your pastor. Normally they say go to your pastor
That
for
makes
marital
sense.
counseling.
No. I'm just giving my honest advice. It's not anyone can just marry you. No.
I put that though.
It's not anyone can just marry you.
It's a commitment, bro.
That's why before you get married, you should know the kind of person that you're going on.
Mama, your time finish. The time they give you finish.
No, he using his own time now. My time finished. He using his own
Ah,
time. Use your own time.
Amy, do your closing. I get out of here.
So,
Maybe
you know,
get out of here.
great show, and I think we're making progress on this whole social side of the year, and we should continue it because it seems like our people don't like social talks. They always want to hear politics because the view get dropping and something, but you know, they're not used to it. They'll get used to it. We'll break that yoke.
We need to keep pressing it. That's it.
Yeah, but you know, the whole thing with the view about marriage and relationship today, African people need to get out of that mentality that women are always the cause of divorce. And with that mindset, it put a pressure on women in our society to stay in the most dangerous situation ever because they don't want to be looked at like the one, you know, like the failure or the one being the problem. Right? Like we all said, and like he said in the video, like if you want your wife to be certain way, you gotta be their role model for your wife to be there. And a lot of people, you know, men of today were, they're not submissive, they're not there. Today, women, they're not today. And those are the ones who are the most disrespectful ones, right? I don't have peace. How you are the head of the home? You, according, because they just say in their mouth, I'm the head, but they don't know what a head and a leader is supposed to be doing, right? How can you be the head of the home? You confessing it with your mouth, but your action is not showing that. You're not bringing peace in your home, but you want this woman to manufacture peace and give it to you. How does that work? You are not giving her peace, and you're not even being honest enough to say, boy, when she bursts out her frustration, her anger, to that disrespect and disregard and everything that she's getting from you, you look at her to be like, oh, how dare you tell you're a woman, you're just supposed to sit there and take it. That's what that peace means. You just want to sit there and take my nonsense, whatever. And it's disgusting. It's so selfish. And this is not all, like I said it before. There are some well-grounded, mature African, and I see a lot of emotional immaturity.
Emotional damage.
In some African men. They will sit there and like another something that I said too. Growing up, as little girls, like I think it's something in that video I saw something like our people will be like, oh, go on inside, do that one year, go learn that one, go learn that one. You'll grow up and be somebody's wife tomorrow. You'll do that one year and be somebody. They train us to be wives. Even though some all can go astray, because you still got some useless women out there. I'm not saying all women are perfect. That's not what I'm saying here, right? But for the majority, they are grounded. But the men are the pressure that is put on women in little girls growing up in an African society is not the same pressure that is put. The African society it doesn't raise a good husband, but it always pressure to raise a good wife. After raising a good wife, then you go put in some kind of jaja thing here to go give her pressure for life. Selfish, emotionally immature, disrespectful to her, beating on her, or taking the street promiscuous behavior, everything. And then when he does that, when she says something, and then she's the problem. How dare you say something? You just have to sit there and take it in. That means submission. No, that's not being submissive. That's the thing we see a lot. So that's why when I see other African men having that kind of perspective that, people have, and they seem to be like, okay, they understand what women going through, and women have been bullied in our society, and always trying to make it look like these problems that the men are bringing in the home are the women's fault all the time. It makes me feel like, well, damn, what kind of African water are you drinking and these ones not drinking it, right? And it makes me want to talk about it more with a lot of guys like you. From that standpoint, and all of you that I heard here right now, I just heard some good grounded husband. I'm not saying you're perfect. None of us are, right? But you know where you for sure. You know where to. As the man, Alfred said when he wrong, and Alex said when he wronged his wife, he knows how to cool her down. Even if she raising the rule or something, or if he having to go out and do something stupid like that, which you're not supposed to do. But once she find out, he will know how to something. He will not be blaming her and say, "Oh, how dare you catch me?" That's the problem and lead the problem. No, we need to stop doing that. And that's on a lot of African parents. This is such a problem. And this is what I first said, for that reason, a man will leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and there will be one. Brother Ellis said here, his wife, that's his mother. Not literally, but he's a believer. He know what he's saying. Does that mean he disrespects his mom? Does that mean he hit his mom or he let his mom into the no? That's not it. But he kind of he knows his relationship with his mom, and he knows his relationship with his wife. He's trying not to put that together to make his mother to disrespect his wife, right? But you will hear a lot of immature men. Oh, you know what my mom did for me? My mom suffered for me. I did something. Also, I didn't want to keep from heaven and just for my mom laugh. My mom ain't suffer for me too. No, you don't do stuff like that. That is not secure, giving a woman security. That is not like we're talking about something for her to be. A woman want to be like, yeah, that's my husband, right? Because you everything you giving her, all of that. Then she would then submissive thing you can be asking for. Once you're playing your part, that's why, I like the men. They always like to read the woman's part of the Bible, and they can lead their own part. They're not educated for that part. They're only educated for the women's part, right?
Let me just tell you this. I called my wife the other day. She was at work.
She's doing all of that.
And she said, she said, Daddy and more her friends. She said, Daddy and more her friends. And one of the friends said, "Oh, you call your husband Daddy?" And she said, "Yeah, I call my husband Daddy. Is anything wrong with that?" She said, "Well, me, I can call my husband Daddy." So it tells you about how, as a man, the way you model yourself, the how everybody in your household will follow.
Right. So yeah, so that's the mention that make me looking for. And is my brother, unless that woman is just some kind of disrespectful and useless woman. But if you're doing all of that, you showing you loving her, you being faithful to her, you showing her that respect, and you making her feel secure, that submissive behavior, it automatically pour out of her without even asking for it. But you got somebody doing all of those things, and then when the person, your feelings that they don't even care about it, they step on you when you go talk. Oh, you talk too much. All they want you to say, so. Oh, I don't have no peace in my house. Or so because what? Because I caught you doing something. So I'm supposed to sit there. You do it. If I don't talk about it, then you got peace. But if I talk about it, If the person dying inside, hurt, grieving inside, they're not saying anything to you. You okay? You have peace. You all right, but you don't care about the other person. No, that's not love. That is not marriage. And that is the kind of thing that some African men want in, and they say, "Oh, my woman, let them, my woman," and then they out there. You know, men will be men, and you know, men gotta be men. So I mean, show me in the damn Bible that you believe, or in the Quran where it says men will be men. Women just that it will be permissive. Do everything. Don't come with me with that African thing. Show me what it says.
Man will be me.
Yeah, if you can show me that scripture, where is that men would be men? Women just sit there and now husband love your wife, live with her with understanding. You love her like you love yourself, and none of that. It says men would be men. God, I created you and myself, telling us that. Then you said to hell with God, men would be men. Show me that scripture. Then you can come to me and tell me that. Until then, don't tell me anything else. Then you're just part of the problem. So that's all I want to say. That's why I end it.
But Amy, you didn't give her your experience. You just asked for all of us. All of us talk about our experiences. You didn't give her your experience.
I'm married. 20 years.
No, I'm saying you're not married. You didn't give her experience. How you overcoming yours?
Good night, guys. It was pleasure being on.
The show not end already, so
we
20 years. Are you surviving 20 years?
You thought I asked that question.
Next Saturday we'll zoom you in for your 20 years experience. So we can learn from you.
Call her in the back. So I can talk.
Yeah, we'll zoom her in next Saturday for 20 years experience. Because you're bragging about your 20 years experience, but you're telling about the challenges within our 20 years so that we can learn from you.
She can't challenge me. You just been married. You can't tell me that you just been married 10 years. Me, I've been there 20 years.
We're zooming tomorrow. We're 24 years.
Today you got 24 years?
I can get 1 year, boy.
That Gazama got 24 years. Gazama got 24 years. Gazama got 24 years. The happy 24 years or the turbulent 24 years.
Thank you for tuning in as us.
Toure visited my family when he went to Bureau. He knows, man. I've been.
Morris got a very well-structured family.
So with that, we thank
I know. I tell you, I know Brother Murray. You thought I was joking. I know Brother Murray very well.
I see.